No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Today we're in here with Troy Ave. How you feeling, Troy?
I'm feeling blessed. God is great and the paper straight. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
I'm glad I'm finally here, man. I know we had a couple of, I know I was giving her hell. It wasn't my fault,
well,
man.
you got COVID a couple times or something, right?
No, somebody in my family got COVID,
Oh,
and I had
okay.
to watch the kids. But COVID is a new excuse for everything, right?
That's a good excuse, actually, honestly.
It actually is, yeah. Like, so my kid's mother caught COVID, and then I had to have the kids, and then it was a bunch of other shit going on. I'd be like, I got mad businesses, and, fucking it doesn't matter when you want to be ready if a fucking a tenant is calling your property manager 10 times out of 10. The property manager don't know what the fuck they doing, so they got to call me for approval. Sometimes you got to, just a bunch of dumb shit happens. But
like there was a girl who flew out here from the East Coast to do an interview, and then I got COVID, and I had to tell her, like, yo, I can't do the interview.
Oh, that was whack.
I mean, you flew across the country, and you got a hotel and all this shit. You probably spent thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't be mad at me for saying I can't do the interview because I have COVID.
I said, bro, we got to do this on Skype, bro. You got to Skype this interview.
We could have done that from the East Coast.
Like, it's no...
That is true, though, yeah.
I left all my jewelry in the airport. I tried to, like, come later or whatever. Like, a lot of it in the fucking airport.
You forgot it?
Bro, I just got, like, a new jewelry case for Christmas and shit. So a lot of times you gotta watch the gifts you accept from people. Sometimes people be having negative shit on you, and they might give you some shit like, if it's a chick that you ain't fucking with and she give you a car, that car might fucking crash. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who was just like, whatever, they might have been a little jealous. They gave me a jewelry box. I'm like, you know what? I don't never really use jewelry boxes. I put my shit in like I got like a Louis Vuitton, what's this shit called for men? What's the bags we keep our shaving shit in?
Oh, the toiletry bag?
Toiletry bag. I just throw the jewelry in there. So I switch it up, cool. And I'm getting out the airport, and it's like, chilling and shit. I say, yo, let me just throw my hoodie on. I throw the fucking hoodie on. By the time I leave and come all the way out here, I go to get my shit, and I'm like, where's all my shit? So we in the process of calling the airport now. Hopefully they search some cameras or whatever, and hopefully I get my shit back. But
well, that'd be a pretty fucking serious L if you don't, huh?
Big L. It's a big L, but I look at life different now. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, as long as I got my health, I don't care about no money. I don't cherish money because I got money and that shit ain't about shit. I could always get more jewelry. As long as I got my health, I'm good. But it's like, it's fucked up. And I'm trying, you gotta speak shit. You gotta say different shit to yourself to try to psych yourself up. Like, It's a big L. I don't appreciate you saying that because I was trying to go another direction. But you just took me to thinking it's a big L again. And, it's fucking crazy.
Nah,
I'll be all right, though.
That's one reason I don't want to own jewelry is because if I ever lost it or...
Bro, I don't be giving a fuck about jewelry. I wear it for like shows or if I'm doing video and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I probably buy more jewelry for people than I have. Like, as long as I got a Rolex watch and my people's got Rollies, I'm good. But I don't give a fuck about mad jewelry. But I'm shooting videos while I'm out here.
Right.
And that's why I bought all my shit. And it's just like, and I got new shit that I just bought. I'm just like fucking pissed, man. So I ain't even put insurance in the shit yet. So it ain't even like I could go and do it clean. You feel me? So
I'm sure you've done interviews with a million people that like don't remember you from the early days of your career, but I could definitely say that I used one of your songs in a BMX video in like 2012, and
damn, that's bricks in my backpack. That's throwback shit.
Bingo, yeah. And what was the name of the song? Fuck.
Don't leave me hanging, man. Look at you, man. Look,
if I go look at the
leave me hanging, man.
If I
you know what I'm saying?
Sunglasses, I got no peripheral. You know?
Right.
But then also, I remember like you doing, I think, was it Sway or Breakfast Club or whatever at the time, and you just talking about like crazy ass shit that I could not believe you were talking about, like in terms of strategy of dressing up like a basketball player and shit.
When I used to, in my drug dealing days, facts. You gotta just be smart. You can't be like I got an OG who's like the only OG I have, and he's like, I call him OG because he's successful at shit. He not just OG is not just somebody that's older than you. I don't mean shit, but he like successful and taught me real game, and like he's not just like, yo, he used to sell jugs on the block and now he's fucking a garbage man or some shit. No offense to garbage man, but like he still got multi-million-dollar homes in multiple places, Bentleys in the garage, girl always driving. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. I feel like if you risk your freedom for years, you supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna risk your freedom to be fucking basic.
But you're saying this dude put you on early on?
He put me on the game, and he always said, like, yo, you can't if you gonna do, you can't be a dumb criminal. If you gonna commit crimes, he said you don't want to do like have two wrongs. So if you out of town and you trafficking fucking a kilo of coke, you want to make sure you're not also driving with a suspended license.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just different shit like that. So I'm like, if I'm gonna go take bricks in my backpack, was for me taking a train and, you know, dressing up like I'm a basketball player, like, you know, like a little fucking regular basketball player, book bag, short slippers, have a basketball. I'm bouncing through Grand Central Terminal, going to get on a train in Connecticut, and then I would dress up like I'm a business working guy with a messenger bag, Swiss, whatever that brand is, and button-up shirt, glasses on, but I was really fucking the bird in the bag or whatever. But like, you don't want to look like a drug dealer if you really are a drug dealer. It makes no sense.
No, definitely.
It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so, you know, he told me that. Shout out to him.
That's what's crazy. I know a lot of people who got popped for like trafficking drugs because they were just driving around with like while smoking weed.
That's dumb. He always something. That's rule number one.
Yeah.
You don't smoke weed in your car if you got drugs in the car. It makes absolutely no sense. That's probable cause. I just told one of my people this the other day. He driving around doing his thing, getting money, and something happened and he had to get up off the scene because, you know, his license wasn't no good, strapped in the car, all kind of wild shit. And I'm like, yo, you still don't have your license? We spoke about this shit a couple months ago.
Right.
I say, you bugging the fuck out, dog. Like, worst case scenario, if you get arrested and you go to jail for some drugs in your car, like, at least if you have your license, then you got a case for improbable search or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he just like, yeah, yo, you right, but, you know, you could fucking lead a horse to water, but, you know. So all my criminals out there, just try not to pile up multiple crimes on top of crimes. If you riding dirty, have a license. That's a fact, because you could beat that case.
It's like these kids are so out of whack with the idea that if you're going to be a criminal, that you have to be low-key as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're familiar with, and I'm not trying to say that he's guilty or nothing, but K Flock from the Bronx recently got picked up for allegedly shooting somebody and killing them while wearing some like, you know, $2,000 Amiri jeans and some crazy ass unreleased Jordans and shit.
That's nuts.
He did have a mask on to his credit, but I mean, like that if this did play out the way that the cops are saying it played out, it's like you can't be wearing your nicest outfit when you're going to do a drill, right?
But the way they said it, like somebody came out and approached him, so maybe he might be innocent. Maybe he might, well, even though you can't have guns in New York, but maybe he might be innocent.
That's like the best argument is that we don't know what really happened outside of the peripheral of that camera. You know, he might have been just defending himself, but either way,
bro,
I mean,
that's not nothing. This takes a cake. I had some peoples that I know that they end up getting into some type of shit allegedly, and they had on fucking company jackets of the record label, and I'm like, what? And then we find out from, you know, the hip hop police, like, hey, you guys sell those jackets to everybody, or is that just people in the company? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So whatever they did, even if you could say it wasn't you, you got on the jacket of the company. That's like you going to do something with a fucking no jumper hoodie on, but you got a mask on. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was like crazy. So like you said, just try not to hot yourself up if you're gonna do something. Right. Even though we promote peace, we don't promote unnecessary violence, man. Yeah, it seems like you've grown up a lot since I first started paying attention to your music and your career. Yeah. I mean, it's just with life. I mean, I'm still with all the bullshit, but even like with my first music, if you listen to my very first records, I was never talking about unnecessary violence. You can't find nowhere in my rhymes where I'm like, yo, he got something nice, go rob him. I don't believe in that. Like, you don't know what a man work hard for. If somebody got something nice, I'm like, yo, that's some shit. How you get that? And then let me get motivated, and then I'll go get my own. So I never talk about killing people for no reason, no shoot. Like, it's always a reaction. If somebody do something to you, then it's whatever. You know what I mean? So that's how I carry myself. But now I just promote it more. But I always been like that since life. I never did besides being like a teenage kid with no real guidance, not knowing any better, I was never into no robberies and a bunch of dumb shit like that. Right. I feel like you got to carry yourself as a respectable man and just do on the others as you would want done to yourself as much as possible. So were you a rapper who then started hustling to afford to work on his rap career, or were you a hustler who then decided to rap about it? All right, so this is what actually happened. I was when when I was younger, I was like, you know, in the streets, like 15 and shit like that. And then we had like a bunch of, you know, that's when the gangs flooded New York and shit. And a bunch of my friends was in gangs. And then, so I saw it as like a way to, well, you know what? I'm selling little weed and shit. Let me use this gang shit to go sell some weed and shit. You know what I'm saying? Since they got a stranglehold on this certain neighborhood in Flatbush. So I'm selling weed and then we doing robberies, a bunch of little dumb shit. And we used to like smoke weed and freestyle in the hallway. So while I was freestyling in the hallway, not taking it seriously, but you know, I got a homeboy who was running around with me. His brother realized like, yo, damn, you fucking good, whatever. So maybe 2 years passed, whatever. I get into some shit or whatever. I get in a shootout. Then something happened. But long story long, homeboy, which is my man's brother who was running around doing dumb shit with me, me and my man got into some shit in the streets or whatever. And now they end up locking him up and they took him for attempted murder. And when they took him for attempted murder, now, you know, I'm like, fuck, I got away, but I'm feeling like fucked up. So we at the courthouse outside and his brother's like some military dude. So he kind of fake scaring us straight like, yo, he's being mad dramatic. Yo, y'all out here doing all this bullshit, and now my little brother's going for life. You fucking wasting your life, whatever. You better get your ass in the studio, whatever. Because he was trying to do music shit. He was trying to be a CEO. Mm-hmm. So he had put me in the studio before that, and like, it's one thing to be rapping and smoking weed in the hallway to hearing your voice on the record, then your voice actually sound good too. Mm. So he was saying I'm wasting my talent, and then at the same time, I'm like, damn, if I wasn't quick, I'd have been locked up with my man too or whatever, you know what I mean? So he kind of scared me straight temporarily. And then so the whole time while my man is in jail, I'm like, yo, let me go get in the studio with him just to appease this guy, because technically I could be and should be in jail too or whatever. Right. So that's when I started doing like more music, but then my man ends up getting out or whatever because some crooked underhand shit that ended up happening, and then I didn't learn a lesson. So I stopped fucking around with music, and we back to running the streets. And then my mom's had finagled the bagel and got me a good job. I was working for Verizon and shit. And then while I'm working for Verizon,
finagle the bagel. Can somebody write that down? I'm gonna start saying that.
Finagle the bagel. Yeah. I got a song called Finagle the Bagel, man. So she finagled the bagel and got me a job. I'm like 17. I'm not supposed to be working permanently. So I'm working. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting some money, and there was a DJ that was he was working too. DJ Flipside. Shout out to my man Flipside. Flipside working, putting out mad mixtapes and shit like that. So he like telling me about the shit. So I'm getting more interested. I'm like, oh, you know, I rap a little bit before. He like, word, let me hear some shit. He liked that he put on a mixtape. I ain't think nothing of it. I'm like, whatever. Then somebody from my neighborhood ended up getting a record deal, and they got a record deal. And they call like 100,000, like they call
somebody that we never ended up hearing about.
Nah, I never heard of him, but you know, like, you know, no disrespect, whatever, right. Whatever, I don't care. But like, he ended up getting a bag. He ended up getting like 100,000, 150,000. He got raped. They signed a mad label. They fucked him over, but he ended up getting a bag from it. And that was like, wait, this guy's talking about shit that like I'm really doing. Like I was really active, running around doing stupid shit, and he talking about this shit. So I could get money for talking about doing like shit that I'm doing. It's crazy, you know what I mean? If he got this much, imagine how much I could get. So that's when I started taking the rap more seriously, and then I got laid off from the fucking Verizon job, and like maybe like 18 months later, so that's when I like started calling other DJs to get on their mixtapes. And this one DJ told me, he was like, yo, yeah, I'll put you on my tape. It's $1,200 or whatever, or something like that. And I'm like, $1,200, eat a dick. Fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I didn't have $1,200 to give away.
But this is the early days of like getting your song at the end of the mixtape, like
end of
song number
29,
20.
30, yeah. Exactly. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, cool, eat a dick. I hung up on him. I took that same money, probably $1,000. It wasn't even $1,200. I took $1,000 and I printed up my own mixtapes. That's when you hear like early shit like Choy Ave versus Dipset, Choy Ave versus 50 Cent, right. Choy Ave versus G Unit, and it was my songs and they songs, and I'm really just, you know, getting my shit out there. It wasn't like a beefing thing. It was just putting the songs together, and I started selling that shit out my trunk. The price was $5. If somebody had $1, I still give it to them long, because people don't listen to free shit. You feel me?
Right.
They don't wear free shit. A lot of shit people don't do with free shit. So my goal started being like, oh, this shit could really happen. I'm selling 200 CDs a day at anywhere from $1 to $5 or whatever.
Right.
So now I started making more money than I was selling off a little weed or whatever. And like, mind you, the whole time I was working for Verizon, my same homeboy who I got into the shit with, when he got locked up, we was buying 8 balls from, we had a little Jamaican plug. We was getting 8 balls of crack for $80, $90, and we was selling it for $120. So now I got some legitimate working money. I'm flipping 8 balls and shit. But it wasn't really shit. So now I'm selling music, and I got the same 8 balls, but I started buying my own, driving around. The crazy shit is driving around, selling my music, I run into a plug. Like my first plug, it wasn't my first big plug, but my first plug. I'm in Crotona Park. That's why I got a song called Crotona Park on the new project. Crotona Park in the Bronx. I'm driving through. I had a tower on 22s, and I would go through every block, every avenue, call people to the car, yo, fuck with my shit. It's my new shit, Troy Ave, whatever. And be like, all right, you selling out? Yeah, we selling out the chunk. It's $5, but you know what I'm saying? They'd be like, all right, or I ain't got it on me, yo, just take it for $3 or whatever. You got to give me something for it.
Right.
And they just buy it. Cool. I'm selling the music, and I run into a plug. He buy the music, and then my mom's got a homeboy. My mom's used to she from Brooklyn and shit, and her homeboy, like, shout out to Brian, that's my man. But he get high. She know him from high school. Brian get high, man. He just whatever drugs he get high, man. He's coke, okay,
right,
fucking whatever you got, he's getting high with. So Brian was like, I was giving Brian like some of my little 8 balls. Yo, tell your people when you selling drugs, you trying to spread the word. Yo, tell your people I got it. He like, yo, T, man, I'm telling you, man, if you need to get some coke, man, like this shit, because sometimes it was trash. When you get drugs cooked up from other people, they stretch it, like whatever, it's not gonna always be fire. He like, man, I'm telling you, get some coke, man, I'm telling you. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna look around, whatever. Wasn't really looking. I ran into a fucking plug. I'm selling him music, so now it turns into me selling people music to me selling music and telling them, hey, yo, I got 8 balls or whatever, because I'm selling the hood.
You were doing both.
Yeah, I'm selling both, not doing both.
Right.
I'm not doing fucking 8 balls.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
I definitely bought some coke in my days.
Coke and crack is totally different. When I say 8 balls, that's crack, man.
Right. But I mean, I've done some coke in my day where like you're so drunk that you just keep doing it even though you know it's fake.
Yeah, I got some. Yo, I had some coke one time that was so good that they was just telling me, no, something's in this. You know how people get when they high go, no, what is this? No, come on, you can tell me. It's all right. Just tell me what's in this. No, I'm like, yo, it's straight off the block. I didn't know how to compress and shit at that time.
Right.
But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Well, you never did crystal meth, right?
Well.
This is a question.
One time.
Man. All right, about that story.
One time. Girl had me going for a couple days in a row, actually. No sleep.
Did 100 episodes of No Jumper. All right.
That shit was rough. Nah, this is way before the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Meth is a
shit,
motherfucker.
What that shit make you feel like?
It's just like, I mean, you could probably like guess what coke feels like from watching cokeheads and
I used
shit.
to think
it's
coke
like
was,
that times 100.
I used to think coke was like wasabi. I used to think like, and I asked like, cause it burns. So I thought like coke felt, but then some of my people was like, nah, it ain't wasabi, kid.
Nah, meth is some wild shit. Like just from doing it that one fucking little day or two, I really saw how a person could do that and then end up just being homeless and tweaking out for the rest of their life. I seen it. I realized why they could get to that point.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's nuts. So all right, that's crazy. So all right, so with the
You
music
just realized
shit,
he's getting interviewed by a real J.
Nah, there's some other real J's. You're not a real J. I'm gonna
Doing
leave him out of
interviews?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, now when I start doing that, the plug he give me 10. He like sell me 10 grams for $26 a gram, and cause I'm trying to sell him crack. He like, yo, I got Shay Cole. I said, where? How much? He said he got this. Boom. He bought a CD, and then he sold me 10 grams, $260. I bring this shit back to Brian. Brian like, T, this is some shit, man. Watch. And he take me to Club Cielo. Club Cielo's a spot in Manhattan, like around STK and Catch, all that kind of shit. We going in Club Cielo, and now we breaking it down. We selling 20s and 50s in the club, but Club Cielo is like fucking house music or some shit like that, whatever it is. But it's like mad dope. It's like some European shit. It's not like you know, like house heads that be on the floor. It's like motherfuckers with they get in a table with Johnny Walker Blue, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, and shit like that.
So
and
you're a long way from home at this point.
I'm a long way from home.
You're
It's
just
only
right over the
Manhattan.
bridge, but it's a long way from home.
But Brian is in that world, so he
Right.
getting all the 50s and 20s off for me, and then we start getting them customers, and they become weekly customers from being at the club to calling me on. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was in Club Cielo. They start calling on Wednesday, Monday, whatever. So now I'm getting a good little coke flow. And now I go from 10 grams. Something happened at Los. I don't know what the fuck happened, but he disappeared. I don't know. And then I start asking other people in my hood, yo, who got it? Boom. So I buy 62 grams. Boom. We call it a 6 deuce. I buy 62 grams, and I put my man was fucked up. And I had a crackhead living like two cribs down from my house. Like I lived in like I'm from Crown Heights.
Right.
So it's like kind of residential, but it's like, you know what I mean? Crown Heights is some shit. So it's a crackhead, and he renting out a basement, and he got all his crackhead friends coming here. His name Gary. Shout out to Gary. So my man was fucked up, like on the paper side. So I say, yo, Gary, listen. I stopped fucking with the little bullshit 8 balls. I say, yo, Gary, yo, if I put my man in here, right, and let him do his thing, and I'll let you smoke for free, would you be with it? He said, hell yeah, come on, cool. Now, let me give you who Gary is. Gary said he had AIDS since 1981, and he said smoking crack is the only thing that made him not die.
Wow.
And I fucking believe him. It's a fact.
I've seen a lot of people downtown who kind of, that seems like their vibe.
So, all right, I start having a little spot there next door. So now Gary teach my man how to cook. My man teach me how to cook. So now we not buying 8 balls. We taking this off. Now I go to 125 grams, called a Big 8.
But you're letting this dude smoke for free just to be able to use his spot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't he then end up smoking an enormous amount of crack?
Fuck no, because you gotta regulate. You
okay.
Smoke for free really means like wink, wink, yeah.
Okay.
You gonna smoke until we say no, it's enough, or if we don't make money, then you're not smoking.
Right.
So he's just getting like a little 5%. You know what I'm saying? So cool. I end up buying a Big 8. So now every day I come home, I'm getting money from the 8 balls next door, because I'm not gonna go sell drugs on my own block. That's stupid. See what we talked about, how being a dumb criminal. But I had my man come in. He could be in that spot. That's his spot. I'm just getting money off it, and I'm supplying it. You know what I mean? So I go from that, and I got the customers at Club Cielo, and then all this shit is happening together. Now I sell my own. This is when my music changed from like this music. Then I start going out of town, and that's when I start making bricks in my backpack. I'm in traffic, different shit like that. Like the music changed as I start doing different shit. My music always changes as I do different shit.
So you were doing interviews talking about selling drugs while you were actually selling drugs?
No, hell no. I would never.
By the time you got to the interviews, you were talking about shit that you were no longer doing at that point?
Yeah, like even in like my first, what was my first like real songs, like 2014 and shit. Like on New York City, the album was, I was like stopping selling drugs. Bricks in my backpack, I didn't have no interviews. I was just mixtape shit. Nobody was, and it was just online and, you know, in the streets. There wasn't no interviews. I wasn't sitting down with nobody. You feel me? So, but yeah, I would never talk about shit that I could be, you know, indicted for or whatever.
But you would talk about some shit that you were doing a year or two ago.
Not sometimes it's statute of limitations on shit. You feel me? So it's like if I'm saying shit, it's like vague. It's not nothing detailed where, oh yeah, we knew that crime right there. This was so here or whatever.
But you knew that talking about the shit that you had actually done was the shit that was gonna make you elevate above a lot of other rappers at the time who were just
and I'm gonna tell you why. Cause at first I was just rapping about basic shit, basic hood shit that most people do. Fucking with bitches, selling a little bit of crack, fucking shooting in the street and dressing fly, like regular basic shit that you could do with $2. But I knew that's what a lot of rappers was talking about. But I knew once I started getting into my bricks in my backpack, getting money, like the Harry Potter story, that type of shit, I knew based on people from in Brooklyn, New York, they wasn't doing it like that. Cause I could look at their videos. Like if you look at my first videos, you see me get money. The Benz is mine. The fucking Rollie is mine. Whatever big chains I had on, those are mine. You know what I'm saying? The women, like I had all that shit in my first video. Most people first videos, they be broke. So it be capped. Well, you not telling me you moving bricks and shit.
And that was a time period where a lot of the rappers who were out were not really like, you know, they really weren't effectively portraying themselves as people with money. There was a lot of like rapping in the fucking park in Brooklyn and shit. When you go back to those days,
right?
It's kind of like, damn, these dudes was really wearing the same shit that everybody else was wearing.
That's a fact. A lot of just talking fly shit, but I knew like I had to figure out like I had to carve my niche, as they say. Like, what could I do better than anybody? And I know I could talk that getting money shit, having birds, like not just talking about having a little bit of coke or whatever bag. Like people, they'll be selling, they'll have 28 grams and they'll be rapping about selling bricks. I know because I sold you 28 grams. You feel me? So like I knew that nobody could talk that shit in detail how I could talk it, and really that's what set me apart and made me like level up.
And
even though
this is like right after the like Jeezy and Gucci era of
that's
like
a
them
fact.
coming out with the crazy
Gucci's
coke
inspiration.
rap, and so it was like at that time everybody was talking like they were some crazy coke kingpin,
but not in New York. Like they was trying, but you had to prove it. And down south is different. That's why I love how down south people be like having a bunch of money sitting everywhere. Like, you know, down south is really the trap. It's not fucking police constantly trying to be in your shit. Like, you could be rural and get money. We got to get money in the city with fucking cameras on the block and bullshit or whatever. So, like that was inspirational though, like seeing that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? And I just really applied the pressure and just went hard. Not only am I gonna talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it in detail that a fucking cap rapper can't do. You feel me? And then that's gonna go to a different audience. Anybody can talk about getting money, but when you talk about compressors and isotone and you giving somebody fucking 125 grams, if somebody really doing it, they gonna be like different shit in my lyrics. Like I might be like, I gave you 126 grams because I added a point for the bag. You know, that's shit that people's not thinking about. You know what I'm saying? So just a little different. If you cooking crack, it smell like Fruity Pebbles in a bowl. Like different.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's a fact. Certain like good type of coke is gonna smell like that.
I've never been around crack cooking, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a blessing, man. A lot of people can't say they ain't been around crack, man.
I was saying that to my girl the other day. I'm surprised I've never seen anybody shoot drugs up. Specifically
heroin
or really anything.
I don't like seeing that shit. That shit is disturbing. It's just like the whole effect. You feel bad for them. I mean, I learned like I didn't have a lot of empathy and sympathy for people. It was like, fuck you want to get high, that's on you. But to see like a dope fiend shoot up and then be nodding in the street and then a little drop of blood, that's just disgusting, man. So hope everybody off dope get off dope. Like that's not a drug to do. You can do some coke if you want to smoke some weed, but shooting up dope, then it go from the pills to the dope, like. So yeah, I don't fucking know.
Does that seem kind of suicidal in retrospect that you were showing off the money that you had made in the streets on such a level at that time?
No, because it was more subtle. It was like all right, I had a brand new Benz. They don't know if I was fucking having that shit paid. Like if I'm paying high ass car notes like most people, they don't know that I paid it off. I had a Rollie. They don't know if it was gifted. It wasn't like I wasn't doing like. Here show, man. I would never show like no bricks. I would never show. I used to have like 50,000 in the safe under a futon. Like it's crazy. I'm still living in my mom's crib with mad bricks in my dresser, and I had to like snap out like, what the fuck is you doing? Go get an apartment. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But you know that's just the ignorant mentality we come from. But I never show like I never would show no guns in my videos because like I know
that's suicidal in New York.
Because what if I'm outside and God forbid something happened and I'm gonna defend myself and then the fuck they gonna say, yeah, you did it. Look, the same gun he got shot with, you had it in this video. So I'm never showing no guns that could be used or whatever, you feel me? So
especially this day and age, man, so many rappers that are facing charges based on shit that the cops would not be able to put together if it wasn't for Instagram and YouTube.
They put it together themselves and then they be like, oh, the internet is snitching. No, you put it together yourself. You said, look, here's the gun right here. I'm gonna hit you with a fucking Draco. And the guy got shot with a Draco and you had a Draco right there. Yeah. It's crazy.
They got Pooh Shiesty off the serial numbers on the bills.
Man, free Pooh Shiesty, man. I don't understand that. That's crazy. And he copped out too, right? Yeah. So he was showing the money and they saying that those serial numbers matched this. That's
from the scene of a crime, yeah.
That's some diabolical shit. Nobody would ever. I don't even know if I'm using diabolical in the right term, but it just sounds dope right there.
I would have never thought that you'd be able to see the serial number
from the
music video.
That's some shit you wouldn't even think about. You're like, oh, I'm good. It's just money. I got it from anywhere. Who the fuck would put that together? They had to really have a hard on for him, as they would say.
Hell yeah.
But he's the
definition of doing like blowing up and then just continuing to basically be the same person. And then when he gets his reality check, it's not just like, oh, here's a reality check, you got to go to jail for a month or two. No, it's like you're probably going to do like fucking 5+ years.
That's crazy. Yeah,
from your first reality check once you got famous.
The only thing I like to look at I like to like take lemons and make lemonade from whatever the fuck lemons they throw. The only good bright side of it that he could look at is like, yo, listen, you was probably gonna go to jail anyway. At least you got a break before you went to jail, and you got to make mad money and all kind of shit. So when you come home, you could probably still make a little bit more money, but you made more money than you would ever make in your life if you just went to jail from being yourself, regular, doing shit that you was gonna do.
Right.
So he gotta take the blessing in that.
For sure.
But shit.
This is really like coming full circle right now, because I just remember that back in the day I interviewed this journalist, and he told a story about getting punched in the face.
You know what's crazy? I'm glad you wanted to say
and
back in the day.
then he told me off
man.
camera that it was an assailant sent by Troy Ave to punch him in the face because he wrote a negative review about your music.
First of all, I heard about this story. I heard about this dumb story, man. And
somebody punched him in the face.
The fucking people like my shit at the time. Like, why you try to chop me down? And I think this same journalist, I don't know if it's the same one, whatever, but it felt like mad journalists was coming for me. Like, I was getting a lot. I still get a lot of hate from everything, from fucking media, from Peter for wearing furs, for fucking fake gangster rappers, from widow rappers, like whatever the fuck. But I was getting mad hate, and I took this journalist from, oh man, where the fuck they was from? It was like Vice Pitchfork.
Vice, I think if it's the one I'm thinking of, it was Vice. I believe.
It was some shit that I took them out, and I just took them in the hood. We was and we went to a Dominican spot, got some chicharron de pollo. We was chilling. We were just in my hood.
That does make it feel different than just him writing an article, because like if he was with you in your neighborhood, bro, and that happened, then it does feel a little more personal. Yeah.
Now I don't know if this is the same journalist, but like I showed him mad love, all kind of shit. And then when he's writing the article, we riding around. I probably sold some music or whatever. I didn't show him me selling no drugs and no shit like that, but like I remember him writing the article, and he like, yeah, and I'm pretty sure Troy Ave was on with the gun. I'm like, why the fuck would you write that? That's for your protection as well as mine.
That's crazy.
You feel me? Yeah. So then somebody else came, and I think what it was is like, I think a lot of times like people be offended. Like sometimes when you confident, it makes people insecure. You feel me? Like I'm never like cocky. I don't shit on people. If I'm talking about myself and you feel shit on, then that's not my problem. I'm not saying look at you with your fucking $2 pants, not $1,000 pants. I'm just saying, man, these $1,000 pants is fire. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of times I was dealing with women at that time, so I felt like I probably had some relations with somebody's girl and they got upset about it or whatever, and it was just like a media blitz about me. And this person wrote Troy Ave is the worst rapper since George Bush, and I'm like, how? Fucking, he like, they compared me to the rap George Bush. I'm like, Pitchfork just said I'm the best thing of fresh air from New York, and they gave me like a 7.5 or 8, and they give people zeros or bricks in my back. Like, where are you coming from with such a far fucking opinion, far left opinion or whatever?
But that was especially like, those are kind of the early days of people really figuring out that you could write a blog tearing somebody down and that it would go crazy, and that realistically, if you write a blog and you say, yeah, Troy Ave is pretty dope and I like him and he seemed like a nice guy, ain't nobody clicking.
I'm gonna acknowledge, but I think it's like stupid because like I never try to troll or get acknowledgement from hate, because like you want to invite that energy. Now when somebody gets punched in the face, that's fuck. Now you want to talk about it, as opposed to if you write a good article, oh shit, drinks on me wherever you at. You might be out dinner with your girl, yo, don't worry, I got the bill. Like, why not invite that energy? Not saying write some good shit about my shit if it's whack. If it's whack, say that. But in journalism, I think it's supposed to be like you're not supposed to be personalize it, right? Is that true? You're not a journalist, right? Yeah.
I mean, some people would say that as a journalist, you shouldn't make it about yourself. But I would say that most somewhat relevant journalists involve some percentage of themselves.
Relevant because they like fucking troll and be boisterous and shit like that. Like,
but I mean, like me and academics and Vlad and shit, we're all basically like the modern day like hip hop journalists that have kind of risen to the top of the pile. And I don't think anybody thinks that we can't get touched.
I used
like,
to fuck with Vlad.
It's on
OD
us
too.
to not get touched. You know, like
yeah,
there's
that's
definitely people who would want
me.
to touch us if they could. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother told me he was talking shit about me. He's like, "Oh, you gonna do no jump?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yo, you know he's talking shit about you back in the day." I said, "Word, I ain't even
I don't
noticed."
remember that.
I didn't, because I didn't start watching podcasts until I started. You alright?
Yeah,
Crystal meth kicking in.
Yeah.
Flashback. No,
drip from last night. Just kidding. No, I stopped doing all that
we
a
on the
couple
West
years
Coast,
ago. For
okay.
the record, yeah, crystal meth
it's
is
just
legal
jokes.
out here.
It's just jokes. So like I had to watch during the pandemic, like the lockdown shit. I had to watch a bunch of podcasts and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yours is one of them. Just want to thank you for the inspiration. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna start a podcast while I'm stuck in the fucking house. And I got one called the Facto Show.
Yeah, I've seen a
Everybody
couple
look
episodes
at
of it.
Yeah, it's real facts based on, it's opinions based on facts as opposed to just opinions based on fucking nothing.
Right.
But yeah, I was watching this shit, and that's when I really started like tuning in to different shit like this. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
like I remember I wanted a fucking no jumper hoodie, and then I just didn't order it and some dumb shit. But
That's fine.
like,
I remember though I learned an important lesson because we were talking on the podcast one time way back in the day, and this is when the video of you with the firearm backstage at a club came out, and we talked about it, and our conversation about what happened was so far off from the reality of what happened in the situation that I ended up deleting the video right after, which was actually a weird thing for me to realize, like how much responsibility I had, because by the end of the day I was getting comments that were like, basically like, this isn't how that happened. You guys are spreading misinformation, whatever. That's one of the first times I realized, like, oh, I can't just be talking about what I saw in a video without knowing facts.
Did you? All right, so that be my thing with journalism and different shit like that, and different people in positions to talk about media shit. When bad news travels faster than the good news. You know what I'm saying? So like after you deleted it, did you then go back and make a follow-up video about, yo, I was wrong about this, whatever? Probably not. It's just a rhetorical question.
Probably not.
Yeah. So now,
which would be the actual responsible thing to do in that situation.
And that's what I'm saying. I just want like me, I'm always fair, no matter what. No matter even if I'm dealing with a fucking enemy on the opposing side, I always deal in facts with them.
Right.
I don't make up shit or lies about them. I'm gonna deal in facts about you when I'm disrespecting you, you know what I'm saying? So just like I feel like if everybody kept it fair and didn't lie, or if you make a mistake, there's nothing wrong with being a man and be like, yo, I fucked up, my bad. This is how it really is. Because the bad news just goes out there and nobody sees what actually really happened. So meanwhile, I can't do no shows. I can't do shit because I'm looking like I just came in like a crazy maniac. First they said I shot myself like I'm Cheddar Bob, dog. And I'm sitting, and I can't go, yo, I didn't do that. Like I gotta keep quiet. Then they said I killed my best friend, and I walked in the club doing. So it's like if a lot of times if people would be like, just do the right thing. All you gotta do is do the right thing. Don't do nothing extra. Just be like, you know what? Like loyalty is a feeling. Doing the right thing is a feeling. You'll feel it.
Right.
I know I feel it sometimes, and I choose to fucking ignore it. You know what I'm saying? But when we in certain positions that we should be responsible, we should go with that feeling. But you know what? I'm gonna just do the right thing, and I feel like I do the right thing a majority of the time. That's why I'm so blessed. That's why I could come from that situation and have 25 more times the money than I had before. I could have way more real estate, way more better. I got shot on my head in Christmas in a fucking exotic foreign. I got more foreigns. Like, it's just way more blessings that come because I might do some bad things, fucked up shit sometimes. But I always, a majority of the time, I do the right things, and anything I've done bad, been in reaction. So, like, I give them hell till I make it to heaven.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like you're actually past that situation, or you still have to deal with that situation?
I mean, I'm still in it. It is what it is. Like, you just gotta, like I said, I always take lemons and make lemonade. So like you said with the Pooh Shiesty shit, he's in jail, but you gotta look at it. Yo, you made mad. If he been doing crimes for fucking 10 years, on year 8, you got stopped, and they say, yo, I'm gonna let you make all this money and do your thing. And then now these other 2 years, you gotta go, the other 2 years, now you locked up and then do another 5, whatever. It's some people that do crime for 10 years, just go to jail, and that's the end. So like all this shit I went through, I was just talking about when I said I got a bunch of flack about saying about suicide, about Capital Steez jumping off a fucking building and Splat Man and all kind of shit. But I said that because his friend came at me talking about another friend that sold more records than me, making it look like me being independent is a L. When I was minding my business, it just came at me. It's no rules to a reaction. But I got a lot of flack about that from different people. But I'm like, wait, if you going against me, you going against God, dog. Because I'm only speaking on what's in the Bible. Take your personal shit away from it. Take what we all know people that committed suicide. Taking my personal shit away from it, and then you just dealing facts, and the world would be a better place.
Right.
So
that was a wild time. I definitely remember people being deeply upset about that one.
But why? Why would you upset? You fucking read the Bible, you get upset how I close this, I hate this shit. I'm going to the New Testament, this is whack.
I mean, there's just certain things that I feel like it is gonna make you look like such an asshole that even if it logically makes sense,
right,
that it's probably for the best to not use that, especially when you're coming at like you know, because we live in the age of smoking on ops and all this shit that you got to hear about rappers doing all the time. So in retrospect, that does feel like a little more normal for you to have said something like that.
It's fucking, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. They dissing 50 Cent dead moms. Jay-Z throwing condoms in the backseat of the...
yeah, right.
Like, this is the shit I grew up on.
You're right.
Pusha T is one of the greats. Like, this is it. This rap is very disrespectful. So I'm like, wait, hold on. It's like watching WWE and then you get into it and you realize, wait, this shit is not for real. You're not really slamming people.
Right.
And then when the guy comes and really slams somebody on your neck, he's the bad guy. Oh, wait, you're wrestling too real. We don't do this here.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? So if I had to go through everything I had to go through and take all the slander from me saying, yo, if you commit suicide, you fucking stupid, instead of me glorifying and saying, yeah, long live you. You took a leap of faith. Yeah, we're going to cherish you forever. If I got to say, yo, you a dickhead, don't do that. You're selfish. You fucking leaving your moms in tears and other people who love you. That's fucking idiot. It's an idiot move. If I got to do that, go through all my bullshit just to have this literally happen, I had people DM me, hey, yo, Troy Ave, I'm not going to front. I was going through some bullshit. I was thinking about doing something bad, but you really saved me because of what you said.
Right.
It's a fact. I don't be lying and capping. Like, this really happened. So, like, if I got to go through that to save 1 life, 2 life, 3 lives, it's worth it. It ain't no biggie.
Yeah, but now the conversation about mental health has kind of evolved to a certain extent where you're supposed to be understanding of people going through shit, and there's like this general cultural understanding of depression and stuff.
Bro,
like,
we live in a fucking real world. I go through depression. I go through don't know. I got real. I can't sit in a fucking low farm without being extra on point. I got shot in my fucking head, shot in my back, drove myself damn near to the hospital. Like, that shit is real trauma to you. It's all about how you deal with it. And all that kitten gloves and being politically correct and shit, that's not the real world. That's like, I got 2 little boys. I don't raise them like fucking women, because when they go out in the real world, shit is gonna be real. You feel me? So, like, all this, it's too much bullshit happening right now where, oh, it's okay to wear a fucking dress and you're a man. All right, well, then don't be upset when you walk in on your man sucking a dick. You feel me? Because the girl said, oh, I like when my guy was dressed a little cool. All right, well, don't be upset when you walking on him sucking a dick. Now, and I don't have no issue with gay people. I have issue with people who are frauding, because that's when a lot of, and I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm independent. Right, I'm not going to have to be, oh, you're my sponsors. I'm still be rich. But I don't like when, like I got a homegirl in Atlanta. I'm going to not say her name or whatever. But long story long, she had a boyfriend, and like, just like from personal experience, she had a boyfriend. He ended up being a down low brother, which is like a gay guy or whatever. Cool. So he ended up giving her HIV. You know what I'm saying? And like, she didn't know nothing about nothing or whatever until it was too late, and he said he was dying and shit. And I'm like, what kind of low down, dirty piece of shit is that?
He gave her AIDS?
He gave her HIV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She's still alive now. That's why I ain't gonna blow her shit up. She got
But those are two very different things for the record. Is that, like, you could be a gay dude who lives an honest, healthy life, and you could be a dude who has you could be a heterosexual dude who has AIDS and is out here giving it to people.
He wasn't telling her that, yo, I fuck with dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, low key. And then he ended up giving her AIDS, and like, dog, at least be honest. Like, if you tell a chick, yo, I'm fucking with dudes, I don't know from personal experience, but I'm just guessing. She's probably gonna say, "Yeah, let's use some condoms or something." It's her choice. To fuck with you.
That's a conversation we frequently have on here, where we'll be talking to random girls and we'll ask them how they would feel if they knew that their boyfriend used to fuck with dudes, and they always, well, I don't want to say always, but
not your boyfriend
they
no more.
almost always say that they would not fuck with a dude if that was in his past, even though politically, media-wise, you're really expected to not say that. But
Why?
it's like it's an opinion that it seems like a huge percentage of girls, probably by far the majority of girls share, but you can't say it on camera, which is
you can say whatever the fuck you want on camera if you don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Or the Facto Show.
Yeah, on the Facto Show. If you don't give a fuck, you can say whatever you want. You could double down. Look at Donald Trump. He became the president, doubling down. When they said what he said, I grabbed her right by the pussy. They thought he was gonna back down and shit.
We all thought it was over for him.
We all thought it was over. We all thought crooked Hillary won, but she didn't. He stayed the fuck in it. Like, this is what it is. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
All right, because people respect honesty more than anything. You might miss out on some sponsors and shit like that,
Right.
but I've been being me, and every year you see me, I'm always elevating. It ain't no fucking like, yo, you never gonna see me. I'm not having better cars, better jewelry, better homes. Everything is elevating.
Right.
And I just always be myself. And sometimes people might think I'm right. Most times I stand on the word of God. If I'm saying something about some suicide shit, like if you got mental issue, get help. But at the end of the day, that's unacceptable.
The best argument I think is that if you're suicidal, it's not like you're suicidal. Like it's not you chose to be suicidal the same way you don't choose to be gay. It's like it's just something that's kind of thrust upon you. I've been deeply depressed at different times in my life where I could barely get out of bed for a couple weeks or a month or some shit like that. And it's not. I didn't choose it, Well, I got out of bed, but it was not easy.
I mean, well, you know what? You've been deeply depressed, and you say you didn't choose to be depressed.
No,
I know shit, life happens, but also you didn't choose to commit suicide.
Right.
That's a choice.
But that just having that inside you is not really a choice. Like the fact that I had the fortitude to not want to off myself.
Exactly, bro. And that's what it's about. And that's what it's about. We gotta celebrate we gotta celebrate the strong, the people. And it's not long live you. It's don't do that. It's like fucking fight through it. It's life. Real life happen. I don't be with none of that sugarcoating shit. Real life happens. We live in a different
world now where the gymnast decides that she doesn't want to compete in the Olympics and they celebrate her.
That's fucking nuts, man. I mean, like, I guess she's young enough to feel like I could go get another one. You know
when we
what
were
I'm saying?
kids, we would be looking up to the basketball player who had a fucking broken ankle and he still went out there and performed.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now it's like, even you look at the NFL, motherfucking, I don't know if you always watch sports. You watch NFL?
Not that much.
All right, well, but a lot of people watching sports, like when I used to watch sports as a kid, the running back is staying, Emmitt Smith stays in the game.
Right.
Not, I run 10 yards, let me get a timeout, let me get a breather. Fuck out of here. The world is soft. And it's all about how soft you let it be. Like for example, you gotta redirect the energy. All my people with kids checking this shit. It's a bunch of dumb shit on YouTube. You fucking make a living off being on YouTube. It's a bunch. You let your kids start looking at one thing, they start looking at another, then another. Then it's some fucking bozo who's fucking talking like, oh yeah, and I'm here, yeah, and I'm, and you be like, what the fuck? This ain't no real man. But this is the people that your kids will watch, and in their brain, whether it's in the front of their mind, back of their mind, they start to act like that. So my son is drawing a bunch of bullshit.
How old are your kids?
5 and 6.
Okay.
My son, but they're like a mature 5 and 6. I let them do real shit. I let them earn money. They clean the fucking bathroom. They piss on the toilet. You piss on the toilet, clean the bathroom. I don't be, why you piss on the toilet? No, just clean it. Whatever. So my kids is drawing like stupid cartoons, like some corny, dumb shit from YouTube that makes no sense. Like weirdo shit.
Coco Melon?
I don't fucking know. I don't even get that far. So I don't say, yo, don't do this. This is weirdo. This is crazy. I said, let me redirect the energy. I say, yo, listen, hold on. Don't draw this. This is a little bit like, it's funny. I don't want you doing this. But since you're drawing, let me show you something. I pull up YouTube. I pull up Basquiat. I say, look at this. Now, I need you to go draw stuff inspired by Basquiat. He's going to show you everything how to draw. You learn how to draw, and then you go from there, and you draw shit like that. That's what he started doing. He come the kid, fucking 6 years old, coming out with dope pics. Basquiat inspired. And he's too young to really copy it. You know what I'm saying? Just like my kids was doing, watching, what's this shit called? Like a bunch of the superhero shows and Super Kids and all kind of like the little what's the shit with the guys that dressed up in the fucking mask?
PJ Mask?
No, this is like grown men and they're hackers and it's the biggest shit on YouTube.
My kid's one, so she's
she's not up there yet.
Too.
But it's like hackers, but it's a bunch of grown men running around. Ooh, yeah, and we're over here, and oh my God, and they're talking stupid. They're fucking weirdos. Like, but I can't explain that to my kids. So I say, yo, whoa, don't watch this. Y'all want to watch these little kids and all this, and these grown men do silly shit? How about we make our own YouTube show, and we'll call it the Super Bros, and we'll have good lessons behind it. I took my fucking GoPro and I made them a video show. I said, here's y'all camera. Record all y'all shit. So it's just about redirecting the energy and shit. Just like if you fucking feeling depressed and sad over some shit, go punch a fucking punching bag. That shit helps you.
Right.
You let out your frustration in other ways, not by jumping off a roof or hanging it up.
You ever done therapy?
Nah, my therapy is like, I'm not to mention, like I'm black, so therapy is not like a thing that's readily available. We don't know mad people that's therapists that you could just go to or whatever. You feel me? It's just like asking me if I ever did fucking meth. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know where to get meth or whatever. But like just doing like we just learn to deal with shit. Right. It's like if we was reversed and you was me and you got I've been 17 mad D's pull us over, 8 cops pointing guns in our face and all kind of shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know everything about you, but I know you've been through a lot of trauma that there would be some value in you discussing it with a professional.
I discuss it with myself. You got to talk to you. I'm going to tell you some real shit that, and music helped me a lot because when you just, even like times where like, a lot of times I might see somebody throw a jab or slight me or whatever. I'll say some shit in the music that now I got it off my chest. So it was a West Coast rapper, a big West Coast rapper, and he said some corny shit about me the other day, and then I like covered up his name and I said I had your stripper bitch in the bed, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like now you wifed her, but whatever. But I got that off. That's therapy to me instead of being mad. Yo, when I see him, it's on. You could get a lot of shit out in music. So I do that with music, and I just do that with my pastor. Told me some ill shit. I called him about something, and I'm like, yo. It's the same pastor that helped me after I crashed my car, driving to the hospital, and he drove me a couple blocks to get in. So he like, yo, I say, yo, I'm feeling this way. I was feeling like doing something to somebody, and I'm like, yo, man, I feel like a way. I feel like, yo, pastor, I want to do this without really saying it, but I feel like, man, like if I do this, am I blocking my blessings? Because I'm really, really blessed. Am I letting a little small shit bother me? And is that gonna block out all the shit that I was blessed by? You know what I'm saying? And even down to shit like, I'm like, yo, I can't say that on camera, but I asked him, yo, if I was just an inch over doing something, right? If that shit went this way, I'd have been good in the clear or whatever. And then he said, yo, what if when you got shot in your head, it was an inch over? You'd have been dead. And then I say, yo, I'm telling him what I'm going through, and then I'm saying, well, but then I'm feeling like this. He said, now, where are you getting these answers from? He said, I say, I'm talking about it and I'm answering my own question. He said, now, whenever you answering your own questions, don't think that's you. That's God talking to you. And that shit made perfect sense. So a lot of times if I'm going through some shit, I talk to myself and like real shit. You gotta check yourself before anybody can check you. You gotta look in the mirror. Am I bugging the fuck out? Like you gonna be your best friend. That's a fact, because you're going to have your best interests at heart, no matter what. I never heard nobody being disloyal to themselves. You feel me? That's a fact. I feel like all the therapy shit is cool. It's for some people who fucking need it. A lot of people don't. Some women need a nanny to take care of their kids. You got some mother to take care of 8 kids and other people's kids from the neighborhood. Right. So it's all about your mental fortitude, who you are. Not saying there's nothing wrong with people who are, for lack of a better term, weaker, but it's all about how you deal with shit. Like, for example, if somebody slights me or disrespects me in my face, I might choose to deal with it in violence. Somebody else might choose to deal with it a different way. It's different ways to skin a cat. Right. Am I weaker because I'm dealing with it that way, and that lands me in jail or whatever, maybe. When the other person get their same shit, they might say, well, you know what? I'm going to call their boss and get them fired from a job or whatever. That's popular. You still fuck that person over and you still won.
Does it affect you mentally a lot to still have this trial hanging over your head? And what are the charges? This is one thing I couldn't really figure out is like, what are you accused of?
At first I was accused of murder, murder of my best friend. Accused of possession of a firearm, all kind of attempted murder, a bunch of shootings and mad weapons possessions.
I don't
and shit.
get how any of those charges could hold up based on what I've seen.
That's what I'm saying.
And
man.
I say that as somebody who is friends with people that clearly would not want me to have that opinion, but it's
Right.
hard for me to figure out how you're supposed to be guilty in this.
So it just it just goes with it. Like before all of this type of shit, I've been in the realer situations than it's before this. Like just growing up, trying to make it out the streets or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This one just happened to be publicized. So
Right.
as far as me being stressed about it, I'm not thinking about it until a court date is coming up. Then it's like stressing my mind. But I'm not like, oh fuck, because I got shit to do. I got kids. I got to feed my kids. Like I got real life businesses. I got to keep up with shit. I can't be letting no depression of no shit that may or may not happen that I really got no control over. I can't let that shit stress me. So like it's only in the front of my mind when a court date is approaching, but it ain't no biggie. I've been through worse and I just dealt with it.
It's such a crazy thing because especially like I said, we had that conversation on the podcast and then we ended up finding out more about what happened. And then I realized that I had been listening to a podcast every week that frequently alluded to this conflict. And that really fucking blew my mind.
You
like,
was supporting the hate, man. Can't never support the hate. If you see somebody, you could see people call shit trolling and we laugh at it now or whatever. It's not. You giving platforms and you giving energy to haters, and that's how they'll continue to do that shit. You feel me? You're not ever supposed to give platforms to that shit. That's like that's like fucking some Hitler shit. You keep on, yeah, Hitler's right. He got a couple good opinions. No, the fuck he doesn't. What are you talking about? Cannot give platforms to hate ever. And
Right.
by giving it an audience, you're giving it a platform. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people. We laugh at it as entertainment when it be little beefs and shit. If I see artists beefing, I'm not gonna, let me see what he said, let me see what happened. I look at the beginning of the beef. Even down to, I remember Gucci Mane made the fucking Grave Digger, the record, you know the record, the truth. But I remember trying to find out, why they going back and forth. Let me get to the beginning of it to see who, cause I can't even enjoy this shit or look at it if you just being a hater. I don't fuck with no hate. I don't fuck with the haters are suckers to me. And I'm not gonna be like, yeah, he's a sucker, but I'll fuck with him because of this or that. Nah, it's no way. It's unacceptable. So I just think if we stop giving platforms to hate and sucker shit and corny shit and clout chasing, then again, the world will be a better place.
But your issues with tax go back many, many years. I heard some wild ass shit from way back in the day. True or false? I heard about an altercation outside a liquor store long time ago when you tried to sell him a CD.
That's cat. It wasn't no liquor store. I think you got it fucked up because he tweeted about that.
He didn't even tell me about this. I heard this from somebody else in the industry who I really respect.
They playing
told
telephone.
me that you had an encounter outside the bodega.
Tell me what happened in front of that.
You tried to sell him a CD, and then he reacted, and then a couple days later, something happened to him.
What? That shit don't...
I can't go into greater detail than that.
If something happened to people, they ain't got nothing to do with me.
Right, I'm sure, yeah.
But I don't remember this. I know the only time that he ever said I tried to sell him a CD was in, we call him Ratstone, by the way. Only time he ever, that's a fact, it's paperwork. Only time that he ever, I tried to sell him a CD was in the McDonald's parking lot, and I think he tweeted about the shit. And then, like, I would be like, if somebody said they ain't had no money, cool, I'll take it. But if they said something slick, I'd be aggressive and make them buy it. So I think he might have tweeted something and I replied, yeah, then you remember I such and such and made you buy it. And then that was it. But I don't remember no liquor store and something happening. Like, I was never on feet selling my music. Like, I was always in a dope V and they come to the truck. It was never no bum shit with me. I'm in front of a liquor store, yo, Obama. I don't know.
So when did you trace the conflict between you back to? When did it really start? Was it just when he got a podcast that you got really aware of this? Or was it before that?
I don't know. It's so many people that you get haters when you into, like, when you start doing entertainment and people can know you and you don't know who they are.
Right.
That's when the shit starts. So it's so many fucking different people, which is cool because it all I'm overly paid for all the shit I gotta go through.
Right.
But I don't never be focusing on like, yo, this happened and that happened. I don't even remember that because I remember a tweet about it.
But
you know
does
what
it
I'm
go
saying?
back to him being around Mano and Uncle Murda, who you initially had conflict with?
I never had a problem with Mano Uncle Murda.
Oh.
I came and did records for Mano. I fuck with Uncle Murda. Uncle Murda, me and Uncle Murda go back before music, like street business. His peoples is like my man in my house.
Okay.
Like that. Like, see, this one should take on a life of its own.
This is
It
why
was
I hate
never
doing
no
my own
problems.
research. I
Yeah,
go and I talk to people, and then they tell me stuff, and I bring it up, and you're just like, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that never had, and I would say it if it's not going to incriminate me. I would.
Right.
That's a fucking myth. That never happened. So I don't know where the initial problems go back to. You'll see, like, I don't know.
But when you started hearing him go in on you on the podcast,
I never heard it.
you never heard it, but you hear
No.
about it, right?
I told you, yeah, I would hear about it, but I
Right.
never heard it. Like I said, I never listened. I'm not a nosy person.
Right.
I'm always getting to it. Like, I got a lot of shit going on. You feel me? Just in life. Like, I got a lot of shit going on. I really got mad different businesses. I be doing my own shit. I be in my own world. I don't even listen to a bunch of music because I don't want to start sounding like motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to pop or big, like, old shit, whatever, or soul music, like shit from the 60s. So I'm not a nosy person. Like, yo, let me be on top. Only during the pandemic did I start watching shit. Yo, let me see about this. Let me see about that. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's hard to eat when you looking at somebody else's plate. You gonna keep missing your mouth. I don't give a fuck about what people got going on. So I've never heard episode, none of this shit
So
at all.
you're not curious about what's going on with all this new school, New York beef and all this shit?
Nah, I would just hope that it would end, but it's the same shit that been going on for years.
Right.
And then once blood is shed, it ain't no real coming back from that.
But now they got YouTubers making videos about it and summing
that's
it up
fucking
for
nuts.
people who want to watch.
That's nuts. And I think everybody that's doing shit, that's running drills or whatever, you should try to stay the fuck off YouTube. Don't if you gonna do work, do the work and don't look for the clout about it. You know what you did. You know what I'm saying? They side know what they did. Don't go on. Don't spin through the blocks to the ops block and put it on Facebook. That's unless you trying to go to jail. Like at the end of the day, what people don't realize is like we was coming out here and shit, and it's a lot of shit is at war, a lot of gang wars and shit going on that.
Here.
Yeah, that motherfuckers don't like. You know what I mean? It's not like coming from New York. When I first started coming to Cali, I was thinking like, yo, it was like, like the 80s and movies that we see colors and shit like that. But when I first came out here, I was on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. You feel me?
Right.
But now as you come out more and you start meeting people, you start finding out the town business and politics, however y'all call it or whatever. So I would never like give a fuck or get myself involved in that. And like even from my hood, we had, like I said, I've been through serious shit before any rap, before anything, going through serious shit. But that shit ain't known outside of 20 blocks.
Right.
So a lot of times if we stop being so prideful and so self-centered, you'll realize like this shit that we warring over, it don't even fucking matter to motherfuckers in another state,
Right.
another borough, another zip code. It don't even matter. So you might get a 1 up or 2 up on the scoreboard and you felt, yeah, I'm the man, I'm known in my hood. But then when does it end? Because you got to go somewhere else and somebody else going to try you.
Right.
Then you got to go somewhere else and somebody else going to try you. So it be nonsense. We worrying over shit and going through shit about nothing. And now it's come to where you ain't getting enough clout for it in your neighborhood, where now you want to put it on YouTube and make songs about it and shit like that. And now, but guess who? You gonna get the clout, but you gonna get the clout from the police too. And you don't want that shit.
Did you ever have problems with anyone out here because you called Kendrick a weirdo on Twitter back in the day?
Nah, never.
Really?
And was it on Twitter? It was on a record.
Oh, it was a record.
And I only did that because, well, one, he was on some weirdo shit. You know what I'm saying? Different from, like, it was different from, the shit I grew up on.
Right.
Fucking Clips, 50 Cent, fucking Gucci Mane,
It also
Jay-Z,
might have
whatever.
something to do with the fact that weirdo is a big word out here.
I didn't know that.
Weirdo is
just
like a very, very disrespectful thing out here, way more than it is on the East Coast.
Well, I did that because there's no rules to a reaction. He made the control freestyle.
Right.
And that's why I did it. People act like I did it before that. I did it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's me coming out and I've been I probably made the most records about New York and Brooklyn than any other artist. Even when it's time to make a single and it's not popular to do that because you want to appeal to a broad mass of people. I'm just, nah, fuck that. I'm on New York. I spent my first video repping with my heart. It's about New York. I'm from New York City where it ain't shit pretty except the girls and they most ain't right. And I spent $30,000 on that video to get that shit on BT, everything. And I'm always repping New York. So if he says something about New York, I'm offended. And why is it that everybody who, these motherfuckers made full songs dissing him, full replies, and my one little bar is bigger than the songs that they made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, fucking Mos Def would be considered a widow rap, but he's dope. Backpack. You know what I mean? Maybe not widow, but, like, it's different. I wasn't saying nothing that's a lie. I wasn't making shit up.
Right.
I didn't, like I said, I don't even lie against somebody I'm going against. I didn't say, yo, you suck dick or whatever. I don't know if you suck dick.
It's crazy because so much beef in rap music basically comes down to who's the most liked. Like, because in the shit with you and Joey Badass, it really didn't matter who was right, you know? It mattered that at that time he was really looked upon as somebody that the industry and the fans were really fucking with, and you had already kind of started to get a reputation for being kind of an asshole. So it really didn't matter that much.
I'm from New York. I'm me. I'm really like on some New York shit, but I'm really like different. You got, it's two sides of New York. Like somebody could come here and see a fucking gangbanger, or they could see a skateboarder. Y'all both from LA, but it's two different shit. And now just because that other person got different type of fans, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing with Joey Badass. He's whatever. I'm not carrying on no beef or whatever. I'm just saying that, like, if you see the fans or the people that it was probably industry people, or it was more so fucking like little white kids with a fucking gremlin emoji saying, hey, you nigger, and shit like that. Like, these are his fans.
Those
but
kids
it's a lot of them because they on the internet.
Definitely fucking with him more than you at that
that's
moment. I don't know about the N-word part. The white kids with the gremlin avatar were definitely Joey Badass.
But that's what
fans.
I'm saying. So just because it's fucking, it's 10 lions, it's 10 sheep and 1 lion.
Right.
They're just more boisterous. There's a bunch of them because they on the internet. I'm not even on the fucking internet.
Right.
I'm doing a tweet. I'm doing some shit to make money on it. I'm not like an internet person.
Right.
So that's why it might seem, just because you yelling more and you more louder, that don't mean that you tougher. That don't mean that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But whatever, that shit is in the past, man.
Nah, I feel you for sure.
God is great and the paper straight, man. I'm just like.
So people have done a lot of work to try to smear you with the snitch thing over the last couple of years.
That's a fact.
How do you feel about that? How do you deal with it? For a while, it felt like you were kind of leaning into it, like with the 6ix9ine thing and shit.
I was kind of like, well, you know what? When 6ix9ine was like, I was like, all right, now at least people can see the difference of this is an actual snitch. He was down with it gang. I don't give a fuck. It's no, it's not nothing with 6ix9ine or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he can't deny being a snitch.
But like, you in the actual gang, you join the gang, you can't tell on the gang no matter what. Those are your friends. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you took that oath. You into that shit. It's not no internet shit that's already out in the public. Gang shit is in the streets. So, like, I really just stopped. As long as it's not said, like, to me here, again, it's a majority of the gremlin avatars and shit. You feel me?
Right.
Like, I be out with my fucking kids, front row of fights. It'd be, yo, chill, yeah, yo, all kind of shit, right? Chef, you be with me? We go to fights with it. It just be nothing but pictures, and it never. Yo, I had my security. He said, damn, this job is fucking easy. That's a fact. So I don't really like, the internet didn't make me. I came from selling my music in the streets. That's why my foundation is so strong. That's why if blogs don't post me, my shit is gonna still go. I'm gonna still be profitable. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta just control what you could control, and the rest you can't give a fuck about. Because like, I was calling my pastor about some other shit, like, yo, I want to do something, but yo, like, am I gonna block my blessings? If that shit was happening and I was fucked up and I was broke, and you see Troy Ave and I'm just like a pop broke ass nothing, then you know it is wartime, because you motherfuckers made me broke. But all this shit is happening and they just keep on leveling me up. Maybe it's not leveling me up fast, but it's still leveled up more than I would have ever been leveled up if I'd have just stayed in the streets.
Right.
So like, you gotta take it. If somebody was to tell me, yo, Troy Ave, you was gonna go through all of this, you gotta go through all of this bullshit, but you gonna have this much, I'll take it any day. Oh, give me that.
It's a weird situation for you too, because you can't. I'm sure you would love to just come out and tell your whole side of the story in terms of certain things, but you know that you putting out more detail out there into the world is probably a bad thing for you overall.
Yeah, that's a fact, especially when you got an open court case, and then you can't you don't want to prove to fake people how real you are.
Well, anything you say contradictory or anything that
the truth never changed.
You accidentally say
That's
the wrong word in telling the story.
Yep.
I'm sure your lawyers told you.
But the truth will never change. That's one thing about the truth. The truth will never change.
Right.
And I don't be in the lying and a bunch of bullshit. So it's like I just take it. It come with it, dog. It's whatever. It's just whatever. It's like it's the fucking. You got to take the good with the bad, but the good outweighs the bad by far. You feel me? So I just take it all on the chin and pause and go from there.
That's a good pause.
And you don't want, that's a good pause. You don't ever want to be like, yo, what? I did this and I did that in the third.
Yeah.
And like you on some Vlad TV shit, you feel me? Then you be,
what
Adam
happened
got
in that relationship?
I ain't gonna front. Vlad was there early, like when I was having like the fucking mixtape shit.
Yeah.
I met Vlad in the studio somewhere. And he was like showing love, like as much as he could show. I don't know what the fuck. He wasn't doing shit for me or whatever. But like he would post videos or whatever. And then I seen he got in bed with somebody that was like a hater of mine. You know what I'm saying? And then like I don't like when people are swayed by opinions of suckers. Cause then I mean you a sucker. You feel me? That's how I took it. And then he started getting in bed with a hater and then started like not posting my videos and shit like that because of your relationship with some other dude that's obviously sucking dick, and it just didn't make no sense. So like a lot of times I don't wait for, if somebody show me they suck, I'll be like, they suck, and I keep it pushing. There's no coming back, especially when I'm self-made and self-paid. I don't need nobody. It'll take me longer to get to where I'm going by not having a bunch of help and being a dick rider, but I'ma still get there. So I just be like, all right, fuck it. They a sucker, write them off. I'm not gonna be fake with you, see each other, oh, what's up, what up? You a sucker forever. And then now it's a short fuse, so if anything happened, it's a sensitive relationship. Once I put you in that place of you being a sucker, then unless you make it right, it's a short fuse where this shit could,
So then you just never had a relationship with Vlad after that?
Yeah, it's just like it's with many people.
Right.
You don't need relationships. You don't gotta hold on to them. You don't have to hold on to that unless, like, you could really in life. This is why I be preaching in my music and everything in life. If you really work hard, stay dedicated, have faith in God, you could do your shit yourself. You don't have to be a dick. Oh, let me fuck with this person and be fake. Like I like them and yeah, we're cool with them, just to get ahead. That ain't. It's a faster way. But at the end of the day, it's not solid. It ain't no foundation to it.
Okay, but someone said this to me recently, and I when I heard this, I realized that I wish that I had known this earlier in my career. But they said the music business or entertainment business in general is about building relationships with people more so than anything else. That's the most important thing in this world, is just to make relationships with people, because it's all about who can do what for you. And yes, a lot of it's going to be fake, but that's like the number one thing that you need to keep in mind in this business. And I thought there's a lot of truth to that. And I wish that I kind of figured that out earlier.
It's truth to that depending on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's truth depending on what you're trying to do. If you saying that you wish you would have figured it out earlier, like you saying if you would have figured it out earlier, you'd have had more success ahead of time or whatever.
Yeah, and if I just sort of like realized that, how people feel about you in the industry or in your world or whatever is extremely important. And like when I got on to a certain extent, I was just like, oh, all right, now I don't have to give a fuck what anybody think about me.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, I don't know about you, but it feels better to me to look in the mirror and know I don't got to be fake with nobody. To know if somebody call me, I don't got to pick up their fucking call. If I don't want to go to their party, I don't got to go to their fucking party.
Yeah.
If I don't want to say happy birthday, I don't got to say that shit.
When you actually describe it like that, I'm like, oh yeah,
I'm trying to say, that. So would you rather have been a dick rider with relationships, like fake That's what makes you. I got it in me. Yeah. That's what makes you a dick rider, cultivating fake relationships. Real relationships is different. I genuinely fuck with you, we build. But a fake relationship, that's like me being like I didn't fucking know you. I just started fucking with your shit on the thing. Like I didn't know when my brother was telling. When I started doing the pandemic, watching podcasts, then. But it's not like before you see people will follow mad people that don't even fucking know them or fuck with them. And they be like, man, I want to follow this person, but you stuck, you trapped. I don't like that feeling. So if you would have been a dick rider cultivating fake relationships, maybe you would have blew up fucking 10, 15 years ago. I'm just putting any time on it.
Right.
But you would have been at this point probably not really happy with yourself.
Yeah.
So I'd rather take my success when I get it, because it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen, and it's more longevity. Say you would have been fucking with a bunch of fake people where they'd put you on a platform. One wrong move that you do, they could pull that rug from under you.
Because that's how you feel, right? Like a lot of people you probably thought you were solid with at a certain point just kind of decided that they were going to take an adversarial stance against you.
Yeah, like, I mean, you see people like picking sides and shit, you feel me? And maybe it's picking sides or false information, or because I never come across, like, I don't be on no bully shit. I bully a bully, but I'm not a bully. So sometimes fear is stronger than love with certain people, and with like suckers and fake people and, you know, docile people. Like, in this industry, this type of entertainment shit, it's suckers. You feel me? So if somebody showed them fair, like somebody showed them tough shit and show guns and talk tough, they believe stories. I don't believe stories. I believe action that I see. Because I'm growing up in the hood. I hear a lot of bullshit stories. But like in here, I think people chose sides because they seen somebody, like, if somebody's talking about you, saying what they gonna do to you 100 times, and then when you actually see this person in real life, they apologize, but you don't promote it. They just say, yo, me and Troy have good now. All right, cool. I didn't say, yo, I made this pussy apologize and whatever. Yeah, I'm the real tough one. They still looking at the person who's popping shit about Troy Ave 100 times, and he got away with it.
Right.
So now they think, wait, we thought Troy Ave was tough, or we know he's some type of tough. Now this person is really tough. So a lot of times they just get to choosing sides. And it's like, I never really took, like, when I fuck with somebody, I fuck with them genuinely. You know what I'm saying? Like, even after this, I take your number, I might hit you popping shit, yo, what's good, whatever. Regular. You know, oh, yo, I'm in LA, let's get some fucking food or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really fuck with people. I don't, hey, yeah, I'm in town, baby, let's do lunch. That's corny. I don't do the Varnell Hill. You watch Martin? You know what Varnell Hill is?
Yeah, okay.
We got to get you fucking more culture, bro. You got to watch Martin.
I've seen some Martin in my life. I just don't remember who that is.
Well, anyway, y'all know Varnell Hill? And he said, come on down. Whenever you in LA, come on down, baby, we do lunch. And he said, well, what would happen if I really came to your house? I'd probably get sprayed. So it's just a bunch of fake shit. But it just feels better. And if you sit and really look at it, like you just said, yo, I wish I probably would have, what I learned, I wish I probably would have just did that earlier. No, dog, don't take what you have in the now for granted. Don't ever take that shit for granted.
Yeah, because when I think about every time I've been to like a listening party or some shit, somehow somebody coerced me into going to an album release party or whatever. I realize when I'm in that environment, like, oh, this is very, very good for my career, but I do not want to do this.
I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be here, even though it's probably really going to make me money in the long term.
Right. And that's the thing. Everything ain't about money.
Yeah.
I rather have $5 million being myself than $50 million being a fake one. And because you're not gonna be happy with yourself. That's when you you gotta get home and take off the makeup and shit. Just to paraphrase. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't really you.
There's never been a time you felt like you had to do anything that wasn't you, that you regret looking back on?
Mad times. Like, just getting into this shit. So, like, I just, like, dealing with people and being around people that you wouldn't normally fuck with just for some clout. So, like, it's certain, or biting your tongue. Like, sometimes I remember going on my first interviews and they kind of telling me something about my music or something. And I'm like, man, I would punch this fucking bitch in the face.
What kind of shit?
Bitch ass nigga. Like, it was, pardon me, I hate when people say nigga around fucking, like, they say it around white people. So I try not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit could be offensive to you. Even though you hear it all the time.
I do not care at all.
But just in general, I feel like it's fucking ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Whoever don't like what I said,
I
don't care.
Notice.
Yeah, because you hear it so much. But that shit is not the norm. I got fucking, my Italian friends don't call each other racial slurs in front of me all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do they do it when they're not around you?
Yeah, they do. I got some real deep-rooted Italian friends. Like, yeah, they do. They talk offensive.
Is it just WAP?
Nah, it's some fucked
they got
up
some
terms.
better shit?
Yeah, I won't say it. Yeah. But Anyway.
I'm part Italian. I don't know what the fuck
so
they
you
be
say
calling
WAP.
each
All
other.
right. WAP has a different meaning now, man. You know.
Oh yeah, that new WAP.
Yeah, I was saying something about you not fucking money. It ain't about money, dog. It ain't about money gonna come. As long as you blessed with your health, the money gonna come. That ain't about. I've been getting money before rap. It's just perspective. I was getting more money than everybody from my neighborhood. Then I started getting more money than everybody from my borough. Then I started, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just perspective. So like, I would never do nothing to compromise my integrity for no money. But just going on, when I first started and people would like say certain shit, and I'd be like, well, I can't just slap the shit out this fucking pussy for saying this or asking me this question. Oh, because no, you can't come in like that. You gotta be a little more passive for shit.
Right.
You're going in the professional world. You want to do music, you want to make records, then you're a professional, whether you like it or realize it or not.
Right. Yeah, if you beat the shit out of fucking Charlemagne, that wouldn't go over too well.
You and Charlemagne got a beef? I know you had beef with academics or somebody.
Yeah,
you did. I put it on my show, man. That was whack. I shouldn't have no beef, man.
No, but I'm just using Charlemagne as an example. Like, I'm sure there's been plenty of people who wanted to smack Charlemagne mid-interview, but I always say that, like, it's kind of crazy that in the history of podcasting and of disrespectful questions and answers and everything that you never really. And people, whenever I say this, somebody pointed out like a comedy show or there has been some violence on podcasts, but not really in hip hop.
There hasn't been?
Like on a podcast?
Oh, I don't.
I've done thousands of these. I'm sure multiple times people have wanted to jump across.
Do you ask people crazy shit?
Sometimes.
That's nuts.
I mean, I try to be
the
cool
right people.
about it, you know?
It's the right people. You feel me? Because if you talking crazy like this, that, and the third, what the hood shows us is that we supposed to crash out and not give a fuck. We don't tolerate no disrespect.
Yeah.
So if you sit down and you tolerate disrespect for what? For clout, so that they could get some views. Some sucker shit. That's not real shit. And then you can know who that. You gotta judge a man by their actions. You be like, wait, this motherfucker just let me say what?
But what would it take to make you walk out of the interview? How would you have to feel? Like what line would they have to cross?
Walk out of an interview.
And walking out is you probably walk out before you smack the interviewer, right?
I think you'll smack the interviewer before you walk out, because if I walk out, you can say some sick shit. And that's Troy Ave walking out of my interview, like some slick, funny shit. You know what I mean? And then you basically kick me in my ass out the door. I'd probably walk out if it's like a woman, because we not going to hit women or some shit.
I've had multiple women walk out of here mid-interview.
Yeah, see, that makes more sense. But a guy, I would check you during the interview. You'd probably edit it. I'd be like, oh, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I would have to put it out, because that's gold
there you
right
go.
there. Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't
ain't gonna miss it on that bag.
See, look, like, you got different pride and shit that everybody's told different. How we was talking about how to deal with certain shit. How the guy offends me and then it's violent. The guy offends somebody else and he's like, wait, what? I'm gonna do this. You like, man, I'm put that on. That's great content, which makes more sense, because you're gonna get more money.
I mean, even if I was bummed about the person saying something disrespectful to me, I still like, well, I got to make the best of a bad situation, right?
Yep, lemons got lemonade.
And it's also like the whole concept of this podcast is like, we're gonna have a conversation and then we're gonna put it out to the world. Unless it's something way over the line, it's like, I want to give people the real shit. I don't want to give them a polished version that makes me look better.
I know. How did you start this shit? And how did it start? Because you just said the whole concept. I never knew how No Jumper started. Was it from the bowling like an athlete but got no jumper? Or did you just add that later on, or somebody came down?
I just had a bike shop downtown, and we were selling BMX bikes and shit.
The bikes that like I saw them riding and shit.
Yeah. Like I've had a website pushing BMX videos and making BMX DVDs and all that shit since like 2006, and then like 2014. Because I was in Queens and Bushwick and shit when I started it, but then by like 2000.
Wait, you lived in New York?
Yeah. When I started the BMX website, I lived in Astoria, and then I moved to Bushwick. I was out there for like 7, 8 years.
So you from out here?
No, I'm from New Hampshire.
Oh, all right. You from the East Coast? All right, cool.
But then, so then 2014, I started this BMX shop, and I'm doing podcasts with different BMX pros and dudes who own companies and that kind of shit. And then like SoundCloud rap's really starting to pop off, and I was going to a lot of these sort of like underground like warehouse shows because they were all in downtown LA.
Yeah. Oh.
And so I was going to them.
Wait, you went back to LA?
No, I'm out here when I started this. Like, I moved here in 2010.
So wait, you told me that you was in Astoria or Bushwick
from like 2003 to 2010, and then I moved out here in 2010.
Oh, so then you moved back, and then that's when all the SoundCloud shit.
Yeah. And so like I was just around all these like SoundCloud rappers and shit. So I'd start interviewing fools, and I interview Lil Peep and XXXTentacion and all these fools who end up just exploding.
Yeah.
And so then I just start getting more and more opportunity. But I always just wanted to interview rappers. After, like from the BMX shit, I started to just be like, damn, like maybe I got an interview with Gangsta Boo from 3 6 Mafia because I like plotted on it. I saw she had a birthday party at this bar, and I went there, took a picture with her, posted on Instagram, DM her. All of a sudden, I got her fucking with me, and then I just started to just try to figure out how I could get more and more rappers to fuck with me, you know?
So you always like been a fan of rap music?
Yeah, huge. Like starting with Doggy Style, and then like around the time I graduated.
You from the East Coast? Who's your top 5?
I'm gonna say like, well, the ones that people don't put on their top 5 is 50 and Cam. I'll put them on my top 5.
Yeah, that's my man.
And then Jay obviously is probably number 1, and then like Nas, I gotta put him on there.
No Tupac?
I love Tupac, but I feel like at some point,
What?
I don't know. I just feel like
Tupac is the influence of a lot of that.
Nah, you're right.
You got to take the influence. It starts at who influenced a lot of that shit downhill.
My number 5 is the only reason I stutter on it is because it's like, is it Tupac like it would have been for a long time, or am I ready to take that spot and cede it to Young Thug, because I feel like that's been the most important rapper of the last like
Thug
10
is
years
fire,
to me.
But you can't put Pac. First of all,
I know,
Pac
it
should not
doesn't
be
sound
number
right.
5.
It doesn't
Pac should not
sound
be
right.
number 5. It's fucking nuts.
No, you're right. Yeah, I'll put Pac before 50 because 50.
Bro, you gotta have Pac up there. Pac even influenced Big fashionably. You gotta put Pac up there.
But I also just feel like it's really important to be
It's your
real.
top 5, whatever.
Who you listen to the most and who meant the most to you during your life.
See, but
That's
my
why everybody
top
want to
5,
put M. It's like, yeah, I respect the shit out of M, but M is not in my top 5 for
if we
rappers
talking about
I've
lyrics,
listened to in my life.
If
No.
we talking lyrical,
Oh, and
like
that's a whole different
But it's all
conversation.
kind of. That's why I like the Facto show. My opinions is based on facts. If like remove the fact of who you listen to, who made you feel away, like who can you really identify as, nah, this is the fucking top 5. Even if you don't like their music, you could identify like, nah, they fucking fire.
But I don't really care about like who's empirically the best at rapping, or like who empirically has like the best albums. No, it's about like who made me feel.
Right,
However,
so you personalize it. Oh.
Yeah, I feel like you have to, because otherwise it's like, what are we even talking about?
I listen to a lot of shit, and I know like who's fucking dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And like even where I do like his points is it's your style, your voice, your lyricism, your not your wordplay, but like how much truth is in your music, because you can make up shit. It's easy to make up shit. Like I like do that type of point system. And then that's how I come up with your influence. Like, that means a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I respect that. I almost wish my top 5 was more unorthodox, because there's been so many rappers that I love throughout the years. Like, when I think about all these years I spent loving, Eazy-E. And it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like, can I really put Eazy-E on that list?
If you put top 5 gangster rappers, you could put Eazy-E, because he kind of set that shit off.
And even when I think about Cameron, it's like, I love Cam, but like, how long was Cam's run in comparison to some of these other rappers? Because if you have a rapper who had like 4 crazy albums versus a rapper who had 10 crazy albums, that's why I have a hard time with the Biggie thing. Like, yes, Biggie had 2 of the best rap albums of my life, but it's 2 albums and one came out after he died. So am I really going to compare a person with 2 albums to
You
like,
could, of course.
You can, but it's just a lot harder to compete when you got 2
really.
albums versus...
You do that average. It's like, yo, if you played 5 games and you scored 50 points every game, and you played 100 games and you only scored 25 points, you're better in those 5 games. That's a fact. But Cam, you could definitely move Cam up, because he had, fuck the albums, Cam had the mixtapes.
Yeah,
Those mixtapes are legendary.
Because when I think about 50, it's like, most of my 50 fandom was mixtapes and then like
Guess
2
Who's
albums.
Back, Guess Who's Back, and shit like that.
But then
Yeah,
the
you
2
already know.
albums, because like even by like the
Yeah.
3rd album, I'm kind of starting to check
Like
out.
you heard it, yeah, that's a
You
fact.
know?
The shit with the drawings and all that shit. I was like,
Well, the
yeah, I know.
Massacre was cool, but then like the shit after that, I just started.
I remember I bought Curtis because I wanted him to win over Kanye.
There's a part of me that
Kanye
wants,
a lot, though, but
but there's a part of me that wants to put Jada in my top 5.
you could.
But I don't know if I could do the
lyric,
calculus to put him above Nas and shit, you know?
It's just, oh fuck. They got their styles are so different. We got to get like a real rating system, and like I think they show like Kumo D had did this. Some rapper did it, and I was like, oh shit, I've been doing that in my mind. But if we put like a real point system, like remember NBA Jams, and you really could get a real Madden score of that, then it'd make sense, because it's like a formula to it. And that should have really, then you could really, there's no debating. You remember how they.
But sports is like that. And rap is like.
Even that TV show, they got the shit where they got the Warriors and they show scientifically what their blade is going to be like this. Like, you could scientifically break down and say, if this rapper doesn't use the same word in his whole fucking song or verse, he's fucking nice. If you use the same word, if you use a bunch of curses that's taken up, you're not lyrically nice.
But my thing, too, is like, 50 being so important to me clearly has something to do with the fact that I was like 17, 18, graduating high school. Like the music from that time period of your life feels so fucking important. And in comparison, like Run DMC were amazing. I was a small child. I didn't really understand their contribution the same way that like 50, I felt him coming out because I actually was kind of a grown pause.
Yeah.
I was just like a grown up. Like I got it. I got it for what it was.
Yeah, and music always sounds better when you ain't got no fucking bills and you chilling and you living off your parents and shit.
And
so
when you haven't,
I remember that.
When you haven't heard it a million times, because like I'm 38. It's
right.
like if I hear a fire rapper tomorrow, it's like for sure he's dope, but he also has to compete with like 30 years of me listening to other rappers. Whereas early in my life, when I first heard Doggy Style, nothing will ever hit me the way that Doggy Style did.
Yeah.
Because it was just, because it was just so raw.
Oh, yeah, but whoa.
The girls are pausing me.
Hey, yo, that was nuts.
It's all girls pausing me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank y'all.
But
man.
like,
I missed that one. Thank y'all.
No, I don't know if any album could ever have that effect on me that had at that time.
I think Doggy Style, like I had it on fucking cassette tape, and I remember I took it to school, and my fucking teacher took it and called my moms and all kind of shit, and got me in trouble for having it. But that shit was hard.
I still remember my dad walking in on me listening to Tupac, and he heard like the F word, the shit word, the N word, every single word, all in like one bar, and he just walks over, takes the CD out, and he just walks back out. I'm like,
he didn't say nothing. He just took it out.
I don't know if I figured out.
I know you bought another one.
I gotta be able to go look through his drawers later. Like, you know, it wasn't like a big house, so there wasn't that many spots where he would be able to hide the CD. So I figured I'd be able to go get it back.
You got it back?
I don't really remember how that played out.
Man, I used to get my gold fronts taken away. I had like gold fronts in junior high. Save my little $150 to get gold fronts downtown Brooklyn.
Right.
And my moms would fucking take them, and sometimes I forget where them, and I should take them and hide them. I always would find them or go get more, but that was our thing in junior high, gold fronts and polo.
When I go back to like thinking about high school, there's so many things I'm glad I didn't know about in high school. Like I didn't really know about drugs. I didn't know anything about, like, I was interviewing somebody one day and they just said, they're telling their life story and it sounds kind of normal. And then he just goes, so then I turned 16 and somebody introduced me to armed robbery. And that was pretty much it for me. And I'm just like, damn, I'm glad nobody put me onto that at 16.
Bro, that happened. I was doing armed robberies at 15 years old. Yeah. That was nuts. And like thinking about, I ain't gonna front, if my sons ever grew up and did half the shit that I did, I would feel like I failed as a father. Right. You feel me? Like I was doing shit that you think about it like, yo, you could have died in this time, that time, and another time over nothing, over false leads. Like we could be chilling right now, all us homeboys, we 15, fucking some 16, 14, and somebody coming, yo, I got a spot right here. They got a jewelry store and they selling coke out the back or whatever. We ain't doing no fucking homework. We in case a word, I bet. Grabbing guns, going, we're not even driving, bro. We're walking to the spot, riding bikes to the spot, doing wild shit just off of, like, you really not having no, I pray that I'm gonna try to instill in my kids to be fucking thinkers, not have that impulse. I don't know if it's really like a testosterone when you're a teenager shit going through your mind, but it was just dumb shit that, like, you'll be mad. I wouldn't be mad at myself if I die on some legendary shit, but you'll be mad if you die on some dumb shit that you could have avoided. You'll be in the coffin like, I'm a dickhead.
Yeah, especially
like jumping
these
off
days.
A building.
Pursuing a life of crime just seems like the craziest shit imaginable in this day and age because of the cameras, because of the surveillance. Like, you know, there hasn't even been like a real serial killer in like so many fucking years because they catch them so fast.
I think they are. They just don't publicize it, man. It be some shit. I guarantee you, it's some. Look at all the shit with. Ain't it a bunch of girls getting sex trafficked and taking their kidneys? Y'all heard about that shit?
That shit's crazy.
Like I don't have no daughters and I'm not a girl, but I know like girls talk about that shit. So I'm pretty sure some of them are getting killed.
And knowing about that and seeing videos, I seen a video in New York of like two dudes popping out of a car and trying to kidnap a little boy. like a 5-year-old boy, and they're running with and the mom is chasing them back to the car, and then I think they ended up catching the fools. But I'm like, what the fuck are they gonna do with this boy?
I be thinking that too, and then I just don't even want to answer those questions.
Scary.
I don't play. I don't let my kids go by fucking other people's cribs, spending night. I don't play none of that shit. Like, y'all gonna be the fuck with me or with your mother or my mother. I don't, all that, people be too loose with their kids, and that's fucking nut. Even like sometimes like girls that have dudes by the crib, and you'll be like, yo, the fuck, you trust guys around your crib or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother had to ask the chick like, yo, she was like, oh, you're good. He said, how you even know I'm good? Like, what's up with you? You know what I mean? Just like sometimes, like, that's the problem. People will see something, and then they'll just talk about it after something bad happened. After the little girl get molested, they'll talk, yo, she always be having motherfuckers in the crib. Like, you could check people. They might not know what the fuck they doing. They might think it's okay because nobody's saying nothing. Yeah. So a lot of dudes, you know, if a bitch is a bad mom and you shouldn't be in her fucking bedroom and she got boy childs or little girls and the fucking door is open and you having sex with her, or she's locking the door and the kid can't get in. Like, I'll say something to a chick like, you not being a good mom. That's some corny shit. You need to deal with it. Have your kids sleep or whatever, or real shit, bro.
I'm so glad I never had to encounter that. The kid just like banging on the door. Stop.
You gotta do what's right. You gotta do the right thing. Even just the fact of having a door locked and the fucking door being locked and your mom's in there. That's like terrible. Yeah. I know how I would feel as a boy child if I seen that. That's fucking terrible. So I like to do the right thing and then tell others to do the right thing and not just go along with the flow.
So many things I used to do that I thought were normal seemed crazy to me. We used to like go to a fucking warehouse party doing hella coke and shit, and then bring like 30 girls back to the crib, and we're all just hanging out. Like, what the fuck was
no
I
condoms.
How,
no condoms.
Hell no.
No condoms.
Never.
Oh my gosh. That I promote. I tell my people we're fucking condoms.
Condoms and coke dick don't go well together. Some might say it's impossible. Myself being one of them.
Condoms and coke dick.
That's your next mixtape.
That's a t-shirt. Nah, that ain't my mixtape. You gonna have to host that shit. I'll have no content. Condoms and coke dick. I have no content. That shit would be one record. That's a single. You should put that on the shirt. It's for the condoms and coke dick, man.
I'm trying to beat the coke head reputation though, man, because I used to be around crazy.
You gotta. Once I really started dabbling in the streets, I started realizing like, I mean, coke is kind of like recreational, man. Like, not to me, I won't do it, but like, I don't judge. It's like how mad people smoke weed, especially y'all on the West Coast. Like in New York, it's a little more hush, but not really.
But not last time I was in Williamsburg and we just smoking a blunt, walking down the street, and we walk by a cop and the cop doesn't even look at us
at all.
I'm like,
for what? To give you a
happened?
ticket? Shit changed, man. But condom and coke, that should go on the shirt. Yeah. And like, you say trying to shake the reputation, man. Whatever. I
couldn't imagine putting that shit into my body at this point. I care about myself way too much. That's it. Especially everybody dying off fentanyl.
You might be partying it. Fentanyl and coke is different.
No, but it's got fentanyl in it all the time now.
They cutting it wrong. You gotta put isotone in it.
I used to take perks from fans and shit.
You taking random pills? Yo, I never took a blunt from a fan and smoked it.
I did that every day for years.
I picked it up and I was like, nah, I ain't gonna smoke it. I felt like I'd be like, we always grow up thinking that you gonna be in a chicken coop like Smokey. You smoked the wrong shit. I'm not fucking with that, man. You're crazy.
Yo.
But yeah, you gotta just do whatever the fuck you wanna do, bro. Like at the end of the day,
don't do fake perks.
Don't do fake perks, and you trying to don't shake the fucking if it's strenuous to shake the coke reputation, don't, because look at all these people that when they be gone. I didn't know Fred Sanford, one of the biggest comedians ever. You know who Fred Sanford is? No. We gotta get you cultured, bro. What the fuck? Oh my gosh.
It gets worse.
Yeah, whatever.
There's shit I don't know about that would blow your mind.
But like they doing mad drugs and living and enjoying their life. Like you gotta live your life.
No, but what I'm saying is that like coke,
don't overdose.
Coke gives people like it occupies such a big part of people's mind that I realized over the years that me and the homies would be talking about like, oh, we was doing coke last week, yada yada. Everyone who hears that thinks that you are a full-blown cokehead, whereas we could sit here talking about smoking weed and like nobody's gonna be surprised if you just don't smoke weed for the next couple of days. But if you say that you do coke, because most people don't do coke, they just assume that you like I literally have not done coke in like 3 years. So it's like that's kind of the weird part is I still will go on Vlad and be reading hella comments saying, look at this motherfucker, he on hella coke.
Why, you got caught doing coke somewhere or something before? It was like
it's not so much that I got caught, so much as that I probably like fully documented myself on Instagram or whatever. Nah, but people will just look at me and just think that I'm on coke because I have hella energy, and I'll be like, unless I'm smoking weed, people think that I'm on some shit because I fucking have like really high energy levels.
That's what they supposed to think. But whenever they having opinions and that means they're seeing you, and you make money off of being visible. So it's like, fuck it. Like, I don't give a fuck. You want to say I'm a crackhead? Cool, as long as I'm getting paid for it. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
But I started to think about it because now we're trying to get my kid in like, you know, good preschools, private preschools and shit. Yeah. And then you start to think like, oh damn, like they're gonna fucking Google my name and my kid is not gonna get into this preschool because the other parents are not gonna want to be around this fucking drug-addled fucking porn star dude.
Well, this is LA, so probably not. It's probably not gonna go that way, man. I got a song called "Soul About the Money."
Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna find out, I guess.
Yo, let me tell you something about public school, which I found out. Like, I get this advice to everybody. My like, he was beefing. We in court one day, and he just like, fuck. I'm like, yo, what's up with you, man? He like, I probably shouldn't have said his name, because his wife watches my shit.
Tell her to delete it. Bleep
oh,
it.
Yeah,
Laura?
Price my lawyer. All right.
Thank you, Laura.
So he like, yeah, my fucking wife, man. She's like always, he's like, yo, she's making me get my kid in this private school. And I'm like, what's wrong with that? He said, the fucking private school costs more than I pay for the bar.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could really just move into a fucking neighborhood. All that money you about to spend in school, go move in 90210. And just move. And in Manhattan, you could literally do that. You could move to Gramercy Park instead of spending $4,000, $5,000 and upwards for your kid to go to school. Just go get an apartment in that zip code, and your kid is gonna be zoned to a great school.
Yeah.
And you save money and you fucking improve your quality of living. So like, don't get caught on the concept of private school, because I honestly I don't know a lot of people who went to private school that are fucking real successful.
I don't know a lot of people who went to private school, period, because I just never even knew that was a thing when I was a kid. So I kind of agree. I never really knew anyone who went to that shit. So.
Don't get caught up in that spending unnecessary money on shit when you could fucking how much the private school cost that you trying to think about going to? I mean, and it's fucked up because they start offensive. From 3 now. So bro, you could fly in fucking cultured people from all over to teach your kid 4 languages. You could do all that for the same money that you about to spend. You could videotape it, document it, and make money off of that. Like, here's how to do it the right way. You feel me? Instead of sending them to that school where a lot of, man.
You stress out about how your kids might grow up, like once they get older? Like, does it feel like you need to give them this very high-end experience as a child?
It's a constant correction. I got to constantly correct shit they doing. Like, they just, nope, come back here. Nope. Come back here. So like, the shit would be like, it's not stress. I don't stress like, yo, they live in the hood. They might go outside and get in the fucking gangs and get killed. Like how shit like I was growing up with. It's just different stresses. Like, I take them to Brooklyn on a regular so they could get that edge. I don't want them just growing up all privileged and soft and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just different shit. Now I'm telling my kids, instead of not listening to fucking bad rap music and shit, when I was like 7 and shit, it's like, yo, don't watch these stupid weirdos on fucking YouTube and hackers and shit like that. They're like, it's bullshit. It's not real life. So it's just constantly fixing and adjusting them. And like, I guess you won't, like, I see some of the work paying off because my oldest son, which is 5, I remember him telling my 6-year-old told my 5-year-old something. So I tell my kids, yo, don't play in the street. I live in like a real nice neighborhood on an estate or whatever. And like, you know, kids can play outside, but shit still could happen. Anything. I'm like, yo, don't play in the street. Not only because it's dangerous, but because a car's gonna hit you. Your head's gonna roll on the floor. It's gonna be blood all over the street. Your mom's is gonna be crying. I gotta pay for your funeral. Everybody's gonna be sad, and then you're gonna go in the dirt and get ate by worms. That's how you gotta fucking shock them. So now one of my kids was going off to the street, and my 6-year-old said, don't go into the street because you're going to get hit by a car and your head's going to be rolling all over the ground. So I feel like it's working. Whatever I'm doing,
the picture,
whatever I'm doing is working. It ain't like I got kids and I know how to do it. I'm just freestyling it. So,
because when I think about it, though, my parents, they really tried to warn me not to do all the shit that I ended up doing.
But you're not taking it from them. If you're not in it, if your parents ain't in the streets.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like they're like,
I could tell my dad was a square.
You feel me? So like my pops would tell me shit, but I know like he wasn't. He was like in the streets because of the environment, but he wasn't actively being a gangster in the streets.
Right.
If he showed me like, yo, watch out for these stupid people because hey, you'll get shot here like this, or yo, hey, look, you see this picture of me with mad money. Don't fuck with these type of women, or don't fuck with these type of people because then you'll be broke. And look at this picture of me in jail. Then it's like something real because I could see, yo, you had mad money and then you fell off. Yo, you almost lost your life here. But if you just tell me don't do it, I'm like, well, why? Because everything that we seeing in the streets is glorifying it. You don't, when people go to jail, they just go to jail. You don't hear what they going through, how they broke, how they trying to call people and not get no calls, how people's fucking a girl and you know what I'm saying, and all kind of wild shit. Their kids is running around broke. Like that's why I say the streets is a myth. But if we had parents tell us, like my kids know everything I've been through, everything I'm going through. I tell them straight up. So like y'all know this is what you don't want to do, or you do it the right way. We all gonna have urges. We all gonna want to do certain shit, but don't be in a gang. If you be a leader of a gang, if you gonna do something, at least you don't got to get put to do a bunch of bullshit, and you could lead your gang in a positive way. We not gonna rob old ladies in fucking liquor stores. You know what I'm saying? We might do something else. Still illegal, but at least you being a leader and not a follower. Because when you're a follower, you could get led to do anything. Bro, I know people in jail for mad years for dumb. Yo, I know somebody who fucking, it was a pussy who made him do it. Sucker. He sent the guy into, he said, yo, go rob this dread. I was just in the dread house. I just bought a pound of weed. Go to dread crib right now. I'm going to tell you where everything is. You could go get it. He got 10 pounds of weed, whatever. The kid is hype. He's hype like how I was when I was a kid. A word, boom, let's go. But he wasn't as smart. So the same dude, he gives him a gun. He said, yo, take this, boom. I'm going to tell Jay, yo, I'm coming, and you take it from there. He goes in, everything go in, he get in the crib. Yo, Jay, get on the floor, whatever. Jay like, all right. All right, where the whatever the weed at, whatever. Jay like, yo, right there, yo, we got something right here. The Dre realizes that this motherfucker gave him a BB gun. The Dre goes for his gun and kills the kid right there on the spot. Real shit. And that all comes from him. He gave him a BB gun to go on a robbery. Either way, it's bad. If you go to rob somebody for 10 fucking pounds, how much was pounds? 2,000, 3,000, whatever. You going to rob somebody and it ends up in a murder. $30,000 ain't even gonna cover your lawyer. Or you go to rob with a BB gun and they murder you.
Yeah.
The fuck? That money might cover your funeral, but you ain't get
beat
it.
The murder?
I don't know. I ain't follow up that much into it, but he probably ran to Jamaica or some shit. He got the fuck out of there. Why not? We probably, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
But yeah, like, and it's mad dummy missions like that. I remember robbing shit, like just getting the word that something is there, and I'm robbing shit, and I felt bad because somebody was in there with their kid, and I'm like, the guy, yo, hold on, yo, my son. I'm just like, I felt like a fucking scumbag, but the fake older homies, the OGs, I'm 15, and you got OGs that's supposed to be, they 22, 23, and they just leading you to do dumb shit, and you thinking they gangster, but it's all about perspective, because when you grow up, you like, wait, why are we having gang meetings with fucking 15, 20 people in this OG's bedroom that he shares with 2 or 3 other brothers and sisters? You thinking they fucking cool, yo. Nah, this the man, because he got fucking the newest Jordans or phone posits at the time. You thinking, nah, this the man, he getting money. At 22, I had the newest Benzes. You feel me? And that's all for trapping. That's not with no music. But it's just perspective, the environments that you went to and the people you look up to, you know what I'm saying, that'll make you think, yo, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. When in reality, that shit, you should be doing the right thing as much as possible or doing your own thing. And that's why I say, fuck that private school shit, bro. You got enough experience in life.
That's where we're coming from here,
Yeah, you got enough experience in real life that you could lead your kids and raise them better than anything. And if you keep working how you're working, we all know money pays for a lot of shit. Money and relationships. That private school, you might get them with a kid who, the kid is taking Oxycontins out of their parents' fucking closet because the mom's is mad rich, but she's depressed or whatever the fuck. And now all of a sudden the kid getting the pills or some dumb shit.
The nicest...
That don't happen in schools in the hood. You might get on weed and do a robbery or murder.
The most richest person I ever probably hung out with in my life was basically like this kid. His dad's a fucking billionaire, basically, in the music business. I'm kicking it with him. and he just starts talking about how he was addicted to Xans and all this shit for years.
Nuts.
And I remember just thinking like, bro, like I come from a place where crazy amount of opiate deaths.
Right.
But those people didn't come from nothing. They were running away from their fucking upbringing. If anything, they're doing these pills and getting fucked up off heroin because what the fuck else do they have going? I kind of relate to it because there's been times in my life where I was so miserable that I thought, man, I might as well get fucked up doing this shit. This dude, I'm like, you had every opportunity ever imaginable, and you still decided to go become a junkie. That's crazy.
That's the same. That's basically, it's like just a flip side of the perspective in the streets. Like growing up in the hood, like using drugs other than weed, that was frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? So, but like on the flip side, they'll throw their life away from where you come from. They throw their life away and become a junkie. We'll throw our life away and go to jail. I know a fucking bum who hopped over a counter and robbed a Chinese restaurant. Yo, how much, at the time it was like, yo, he's wild, yo, but how much money you really gonna get from that, stupid?
Right.
What are you gonna get? Like, but then he went to jail for some other shit like that. But it's like you threw your life away and did 15 years for nothing. And it's still for somebody else showing you, hey, do this, just like somebody can show you, hey, do these drugs or whatever. So if you're a leader and not a follower, I'd rather go down with some shit that I started. You know what I'm saying? Really.
I've seen so much. Like, I interviewed a rapper 6 months ago. Seemed cool. If you had asked me, like, do you think he's a real super gangster? I'd be like, I don't know. I mean, did some prison time, sure. I don't fucking know. A couple months later, he gets picked up for a body, killed this other gang member, apparently. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I just met this dude. He seemed like his rap career was going pretty good.
Who you talking about? The from the West Coast, right?
You probably don't know him.
The dude, he was like a Hoover or some shit.
Okay, you know.
Yeah. I just been, you know what I've been watching? I've been like I'll be on YouTube. I don't know why, but it's not shit on TV.
Yeah.
Although everybody need to go tune into my fucking reality show. It's called All About the Money. It's on YouTube, the Facto Show podcast. But sometimes it don't be shit on TV, and they got like this shit is in the mix of your shit, and it's called. You could bleep it out if we need. It's called Swamp Stories.
Nah, yeah, I fuck with that dude.
All right, and it's like this is why
I was hoping you were going there,
bro. This is why I say the streets is a fucking myth. This is why I say this. If everybody's gang and supposed to be violence and tolerating no disrespect, he talks mad sarcastic and crazy.
that dude. But nobody knows who he is.
Oh, the fucking if my gang ain't powerful enough to locate this person and handle disrespect, then I need to get out that gang. That means it's a myth.
But there's a lot of people on YouTube now, like even with the Dolph shit. Dolph gets killed. There's people making videos. Like,
Dolph.
Rest in peace, Dolph. But crazy amounts of research into who killed. And I think they had it figured out way before the cops made arrests and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and they never show their face. And if they did show their face, they would probably, you know.
They'd probably be dead. Yeah. But Swamp Stories
Swamp
is
Story
hard.
said he wanted to come on here. I'm kind of thinking like, bro, I don't know if that's a good
do
idea.
it.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You know, we always, it's like the shit with the skateboards, how we was talking about. Like I'm watching not for the tricks, I'm watching to see the motherfuckers fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nah, that's dope. He got a lot of dope content, so I think you should.
That's a jug. You know, I see him like make a channel and then realize like, oh, I can really get money doing this, and all of a sudden he's hustling, putting a video out every other day.
The details that he go into, you'd be like, what the fuck? I don't get that shit. How?
It's just crazy how little the value of a human life is to so many people. That's the main thing I always end up walking away from those videos with.
It's only the value that comes from that shit really comes from damn near. I don't even want to say it comes from slavery, but I don't know my research on that far. But like, human life really had no fucking value. Like it's a lot of throughout the history, but like I know as far as like in the urban community. That shit come from slavery. Like it really wasn't no value. You could be bought, you could be fucking sold. Somebody could come in and just rape your wife, like snatch your kids, whatever. So we started having that. We carried that level of disrespect with each other later on in life. So it's like if you live in, and I think it's human nature on top of that, a little bit of it, because for example. When I'm in the hood, say I'm in Brownsville chilling, we eating fucking chicken wings and throwing the wings out the fucking car, out the window, boom. Next thing you know, it's a pile of wings on the floor, boom. If we in other nice neighborhoods, if I'm on Rodeo Drive, I'm not doing that shit. If I'm going in a fucking, I got a condo, really nice area, whatever, and we get in a joint, and I'm with one of my peoples from the hood, like a real close one, and like, damn, it's elevated clean. I'm like, yeah, you know what's crazy? Like, if the elevator was dirty, like some shit in the projects, even till this day, if I gotta piss, I'll piss in the elevator. But it's just because there's no, like, if the environment you in don't respect itself, you're not gonna respect it. You feel me? So if you seeing everybody getting upset and then killing somebody, and you gonna get on that type of time, you gonna adapt. It's human nature. If you see, if my neighborhood motherfuckers walk by, say, hey, good morning, you're gonna start saying good morning. It's different. It's just the environment that you in. So most times you should work as hard as you can. Not saying people say there's no opportunities. I don't give a fuck if you selling drugs and you working at McDonald's. Combine them both and work and get out of your situation, because it's really not. It's more classism than racism, dog. And if you put yourself in a different class, do work. Even if it's you and your girl, y'all got 2 jobs. Now you're not fucking middle class. You know what I'm saying? Y'all put your bread together and work. And that shit'll pass on to your kids, to their kids, and so on. But if you stay stuck.
Everybody want to be this like cool playboy and just fuck a million girls, instead of like realizing like, oh, I don't really have the funds to be what I'm trying to be right now. And if I find a chick who actually is working and is cool and respectful, you could actually build something together.
I ain't gonna front. Shout out to the women, because a lot of women are more responsible and mature than men, and they take care of a lot of these bums. Ladies, y'all are fucking enablers. It's a fact.
True.
Enablers. They take care of bums, and then the bums go to another chick, and so on and so on. She said she didn't take care of no bums. But you cannot take care of these fucking bums. If he's a certain age and he don't have a car, he's a bum. If he come in living from his mama's house and moving with you, he's a bum. You should move in with a man, not a man moving with you.
Yeah.
Real shit. Like,
Take notes, girls.
You can't fuck with nobody that don't have their own, because they gonna become a leech and they gonna become worthless, and then they'll become a liability and not an asset. So I see that a lot of times with women. They fuck with bums, and then they might get with a real one and try to, oh yeah, you should take me and treat me like this, bitch. Who? How? You got the bum you was giving him all your money. What did I look like, a sucker? Yeah. So I say that as it's the worth that you have in yourself. You gotta show that you got that worth. Like, what? Don't nobody come fucking live with me in my house with my kids. Automatically, if I hear you had a boyfriend and he's not the father of your kid, and you let him live in your fucking house, the fuck type of shit is that? Why moving? Did he rescue you and you moved in his house? Or you allowed a bum to come live in your house? I'm gonna treat you accordingly, because it's like being a dirty fucking pissy elevator. I might piss on you because it's your elevator. It's pissy. That's a fact. As opposed to, if we having a conversation and you got a kid, a lot of women got kids, I don't hold against them, and you'd be like, yeah, I got a relationship, we broke up, you know, I had to move out, get my own spouse, live on man, whatever. That's more respectable than you letting a fucking bum live with you. You're a rest haven for bums. I'm not gonna be the sucker.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's what it is. I wanted to ask you, I just want to know, not only for my own knowing, because I like to know shit, I like to learn, but to even people watching, when you say like you was really fucked up and depressed and all that, I don't know if you spoke about it before or not, but like, what was it that you was going through, if you could speak about it? Because I only ask this because a lot of times somebody might be going through the same shit that's watching. And they might hear that shit randomly and be like, they might not listen to shit that we said. Right. And at the end they might be like, oh shit, he went through that shit and he got through it. And that might be the purpose of this whole interview.
This is somewhat motivational. I don't know if I ever said this, but the worst one I ever had, when I think about it, was when I first moved to Long Beach at the time from New York. And it's like, I'm out there for like a couple months, and I meet this girl. She seems amazing. We fall in love with each other, basically. We're like hanging out nonstop for like 3-4 months. And then it basically just goes really, really bad. And that just like triggered it, where it wasn't even that it was just about the girl, because that obviously kind of sucked, that I like really felt like super happy about our relationship, and then she just fucking obliterated it because she was a crazy drunk whore. And but then also it was like, I kind of just had also this realization where it's like I got to see my life clearly and realize like, you are not shit. Like, you really have not, like, you can't just walk through life feeling like you already made it. Like, you really have not accomplished enough for you to really be happy with your life. So it was weird, because it was sad for me at the time. Like, it was tough to get through, but by the end of it, I was so much more determined to like actually really make something out of myself and to take my life more seriously. So I mean, it was like I had like a rough month, And I was lucky because I was living with a bunch of my homies who rode bikes and stuff, and they were the ones who really like got me to go out and like actually socialize, be around other girls, realize that this chick didn't mean shit.
Right.
So I actually came out of it like a completely different person with a completely different outlook on life. But that was probably the worst depression I ever had. But it was so many things all at once because it was like the move to California. Moving can always be hard because all of a sudden you don't have all the usual shit to rely on or like things that make you feel comfortable.
But success is not comfortable. That shit is uncomfortable.
Yeah, facts.
But I used to have to go sell my music every day, even when I didn't want to, but I knew it was gonna mean something. I used to go to Club Cielo selling coke, the fucking weirdos. Even when I didn't want to, but I had to be there. Who the fuck want to listen to a bunch of do music with no words? I mean, they get money. You know what I'm saying? So for people who feel like, I be telling this to like I tell this to my fucking sons playing football. I'm tired of running. You want to win? You want to win the game, or you want to be a fucking loser? I don't say fucking loser, but I say you want to be a loser, and you gotta work. You gonna be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta tell people that more like. Fuck, if you feel uncomfortable, then guess what? You probably doing something right. Because you're going to come out of it stronger and better. And there's mad people going through relationship shit. Me personally, that only happened to me when I was like 16 in high school. And then I got my cheating ass girlfriend. She was a hoe out the way early, but it was cool. I needed that. Yeah. Because then that made me become stronger and like I look out for the signs. But some people, it happened to them later on in life. Every man go through that shit.
That's funny because actually the other time that I can really identify when I was depressed as fuck when I was like 18, graduating high school, and the girl that I dated all through high school for like 2.5 years, she broke up with my ass. Oh my God, I was miserable. But then like I kind of came like all those times that you get your heart broken as a dude fucking with chicks, whether it only has to happen once or twice or whatever. That shit will teach you so much more about life and about who you are and about how you should be moving than anything else.
You need that. I feel like you need that shit. Yeah. It's a blessing a lot of times. You can't just take it as like, damn, it's fucked up. That shit is a blessing, dog. For real.
Because it's like, if you were a boxer, if you wanted to be a boxer, you go out there, you get your ass beat one time, it's going to feel like the worst fucking thing ever. But then if you keep going and you've had 30 wins and you get knocked out for the 4th, 5th time, whatever it is, like it's gonna seem like fucking nothing. That's how I used to be so nervous about coming to do a podcast.
Word.
And then I just fucking did it a million fucking times, and I really I beat the anxiety out of myself.
Yeah, that's a fact. Do you do it like that's crazy because I be feeling like butterflies when I started doing the Facto show, and it's really just me talking shit or just chilling.
But you just don't know if you're gonna be able to get on there and actually hold the momentum.
You'd be like, damn, was that a good episode? Like, do you write down questions or you just go?
Yeah, I write shit down.
And then what, you remember it or you got it? Or they tell it to you?
I kind of just like glance at it. It's just like a bunch of different shit, just in case in case we get to the point where you say something and then my brain just goes blank. I can kind of be like, all right, what about this thing?
Yeah, that's dope. Like, so I was like, man, down and fucked up and depressed. And, I just channel my energy different. Like, I had low points in my life and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, going through a case and just like mad shit, like getting my kids taken away from me and fucking having an ankle monitor. Everything that I like to do was just stripped away. My best friend died. I was sitting in jail. Like, just a bunch of shit, losing mad money. And like, I leveled up. I leveled up multiple times more, just like you leveled up multiple times more. So it always get greater later. My man Champ say that, free Ramadan. It always get greater later. And I feel like that's the message that we got to pump to the people. It's cool like to come up and talk about, I got a new album, God is Great, Paper Straight. I got another album, Kill or Be Killed. The album, they're incredible, whatever. But it's all about, if you ain't doing something to I got people that told me, yo, dog, I believe in God because of you. That's real shit to me. Wow. That's better than any album, any song in the club, whatever. You feel me? Just like I said, people told me, yo, I was gonna kill myself, but because you said that, I didn't. That's what the fuck life is about with me. And of course, having the money. Right. You know what I'm saying? It helps. It feel good. Right. But like, if you got that and then you could do, like, once that's accomplished, all right, check off now you gotta do shit to be a good person and make people better. You feel me? So when I feel like a lot of time with your truth, like I'm about to go talk at a, what's this shit called? We about to go talk after this? Oh yeah, like a drug prevention or a rehab center. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go talk to the people. And I'm gonna talk to them from a dealer perspective, you feel me? I'm gonna let them know, like, I'm gonna just talk straight up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat all you guys, Keith. I'm gonna say, like, listen, this how we looked at you as a dealer. You know what I'm saying? Would you want to be looked at like that or whatever? And then I'm just telling them the real, raw shit. And like, to me, I don't give a fuck if it's 200 people in that room. That shit is going to help somebody in there. I did my job. And just doing the right thing. That's what we supposed to do every trip.
I like it. That's fine.
100.
All right, I gotta go. Family weekend.
Yeah,
I'm about
I
to
gotta
take
go
off.
speak
Go
at
drive
a
north.
drug rehab.
Yeah.
Where you going? North Cali? Where's that?
She wants to go to her old fucking college town, Santa Cruz. So I gotta go up there with the kid and hang out for the weekend. Probably
Maybe
walk.
you be on Swamp Stories. I've seen Santa Cruz in there before, right?
But Billy Western gonna stay with me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, Troy Ave. No
You
jumper.
fight me?
Appreciate you, man.
I'm not gonna say you fired me because I don't know what the gang was and shit.
Hey.
I just seen it on here.
Yeah, but look at her with the hat. You know where
Oh,
she from?
man. Oh, wait, you from New York?
No,
Where you from? The 5 Me hood?
New York hat means something different out here.
What that mean?
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, we still filming?
She can tell you what she's banging later. Troy Ave, No Jumper, coolest podcast in the
West
world.
Side T, baby. They call me West Side T when I'm on the West Side.
Check us out on YouTube, Patreon, OnlyFans, TikTok, all that shit. Appreciate everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, Troy.